It's party time. Happy Friday. It is the magical day of June 9th. It is 6/9 on
Woo!
Woo, party time. As our good friend Bunzy would say, it's officially mullet day. Mullet day here, man. How you feeling, man? How's it going down in Costa Rica?
Wait, I thought it was mullet season, man. We're hunting out here hunting mullets, man.
It's mullet summer, dude. Mullet summer. GM Dogfather, how's it going? You there? Oops, shit. GM, you there, Dogfather? What's good? I was on mute. My bad, guys. What's good, Dogfather?
GM, all good on my side, man. This muting thing, that's like the evergreen. That if that's not happening once a week, you're not there.
I know, man. Dude, you guys should see the process I have to go through to set the show up, between dabbling with two phones and setting it up, and the video and the audio, man. It's like I'm running around my room for that 2 minutes of the countdown.
Dude, how amazing. It is crazy to see Jake running around his house there trying to set this thing up. He's got multiple rooms to set this up. But it's it is amazing though at the end of the day though. This was a team of 15 people in a studio. Right now it's one dude can run a whole multimedia empire, bro.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy, dude. ETH Horde with the new V1 Punk PFP, man.
What? Whoa, I didn't see that, man. Congrats.
Where'd you pick that thing up from?
I know it feels weird, but I felt like we should definitely be celebrating today. Happy birthday to the V1 Punks, and I'm happy to be a holder.
I totally spaced that out.
Yeah, it's Punk's birthday today. Saw that in the NFT history.
Also, everybody who's in the space, make sure, here, let me pin this to the top. Make sure that you give it a retweet. Make sure you comment down below on everything that we're doing so that everybody could see this. So make sure you retweet this at the top, give it a little comment, and then we'll get everybody here in the spaces. As we closed the show down last week, there was what was it? ERC-721 generative mint that a bunch of degens started participating in as we closed it down. Adam, tell me about that. How did that go?
Our man Derp, who's this super dev and was very involved in Lineage and building stuff around Lineage. I mean, actually built decentralized websites with Lineage and gave everybody who has, if you're a Lineage holder, you can go build a website that links to your .og address. He's amazing. And he basically created this ERC-721 proposal, which allows you to basically mint layers of a piece of art. Like you have layers in a CryptoPunk, for example. It's got different glasses, different hair, right? And multiple of each kind of layer. And basically mint each one of those as stamps. Like the deployer or the dev would launch all those different stamps. And then the individual who wants to mint one, basically it creates pointers with all these layers to actually generatively create your stamp. And really amazing. Made it super light. I mean, I want to say it was $10. I was paying extra gas to just try and get one of these things. But it was $10 to $15 each one. Amazing. I mean, it was so bomb though. In his Discord, he basically built a bot where you had to post in the one you wanted, and the bot would kick back, the actual mint code. And bro, there were so many people in there trying to mint. It was a shit show. Full stop. And he was doing his best, but dude, it was 1,000 people, hitting this bot, and this bot, could only spit out a mint every 2 seconds. It was a total shit show, but a lot of fun.
Did you manage to get any?
I got 3 over a 2-day period. And somebody gifted me another one. So, and actually I haven't even checked because he just 2 days ago, he just came out with the indexer. And so it's possible one or two of mine might not actually be legit because I was actually playing around with the code to try and get super rare traits. And so it's possible mine didn't make it. I'm not exactly sure.
These standards are just going absolutely insane. I actually put a thread out right before this purposely so we could cover a little bit of this, because there's the SRC-721. There's also there's a ton of them. There's ORC-721. There's GBRC-721. I've come across a bunch of these generative kind of things, which is crazy because on May 31st, I put out the first post of these, and there's got to be at least 15 to 20 different standards here you could see between BRC staking, BRC 721, ORC 20, OP standard, BBAM, BRC 721, right? It just goes like on and on and on. And so then I saw yesterday, I was on Dune Analytics, and I started seeing all these other random tickers started popping up, right? So you have BRC 30, that's by OKX. I think that's actually going to be big. I'd like to talk about that in a second. There's BitStake, Ordinal News Standard. I thought this was kind of interesting, to where you can basically inscribe any type of news. It's kind of just like more like a portal, but
it's like a blog. That's actually been around. That was like I want to say that was before the BRC 20. Those guys came out.
Yeah, it came out in like March, I think.
Yep.
I had just noticed it, but it's like as I scroll through and I'm on these spaces, I see more popping up. This one was really interesting too. BRC20C, creating composable BRC 20s, and I just kind of like the graphic is what I think is what if you could see on YouTube, the whole idea behind this of a composable BRC 20, is talking about the idea similar to like a double spend, to where BRC 20s can exist in multiple layers simultaneously, and so this kind of like wants to divide it up in a sense. Graphic is fire though. Got ORC 721, CRC 721. Like, look at this. This is similar to what you were talking about. And so this is composable BRC 721. So everyone's adding composability to everything. And this graphic is just kind of above my mind, honestly.
This is put out by a dev who's not going to have a hard time selling his proposal, right? The beauty of what Derp did with the stamps and the SRC 721 is he actually built it, right? So even monkeys like me could understand it. And my recommendation to guys who are interested in putting out a new standard is create a use case around it or something to show people how it works, like show them rather than explain with these crazy graphics. I mean, we're looking at, this is actually not too bad, but still most people learn by actually doing. And the beauty of that 721 that Derp did, which is going to be, by the way, it's already like been decided. It's included in the stamps protocol, which is fantastic. And, for me and for everybody who was doing it, it was super easy. You saw what was actually taking place. And then the immediate benefit, which was, shoot, I can make this stamp for like $10 rather than, I mean, each one of those realistically, if you did it one-offs, it would have been $100-$150 to do them, right? So you saw that immediate benefit of what it was.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little bullish on stamps. I saw they just passed 65,000. Like, got through the controversy though. It seems that there was a solution that was solved after J-Dog had come on here. Adam, do you want to? Have you been following that at all?
Yeah, basically what they decided in a group was that stamps are gonna, regular stamps are gonna live on Counterparty and be home on Counterparty, but the SRC 20s are basically going to be off Counterparty. They didn't really need Counterparty to begin with at all, because they're basically natively on Bitcoin, but they're going to move all that kind of functionality off of Counterparty, build their own tools and stuff, just to keep Counterparty not bombed with SRC 20s.
Yeah, that was interesting. I thought I heard some background noise there.
No, it is. It's there in Costa Rica. You probably hear that. It's like we get trucks coming by with big speakers on them announcing, fruit for sale. Come buy your fruit. Yeah.
I did that in my neighborhood too.
Yeah, you really? Yeah, it's good. It's old school, man.
Yeah, absolutely love it. We do have a new friend on stage, Bunzy GM, man. National Mullet Day, or at least that's what we're describing it as. 6'9". How's it going this morning?
Good. Yeah, no, I'm excited. It's gonna be a fucking solid day. Woke up, put some Coors Light in my beer or in my coffee even. You can tell like I haven't had it yet, but no, I'm happy to be here. I think what I've been hearing from Jake, this new vaulting is pretty dope, and I see Viva La Vandal down there. I want to say what up.
Yeah, we'll cover that in a little bit. With your mint specifically, actually, we could just kind of dive into it now. We're talking about kind of new standards, new technologies. From what I hear, from what I talked with you and Randy, that the mini mullet or mullet punk mint today has a new type of dynamic. It's potentially could be one of the first generative type mints. Is that right?
Well, no, that's the next. What I was this is deep. No, today's so I inscribed the mullet punks. It seems like not that long ago, but before kind of it really ramped up after BRC-20s. So today we're doing the public mint for the Genesis kind of Bitcoin collection. So the mini mullet Pepes, those will be next. We're still working that out, but yeah, no, I'm excited for today. Been wanting to drop these for a while, and yeah, so it's gonna be a fun day. I'm excited.
Mini mullet Pepes, man. I love how much this meme has really taken off and turning into a community. How does it feel too now that you are building a cross-chain mimetic community? Right, Frank kind of has started this new trend. How has it been for you?
The tech part is really shitty, unfortunately. Like before the Teleburn concept came across, like I just tried to set up, a simple like sign an ETH transaction with your like Taproot address, submit it, and thought that would be okay with 69, but I think some people got a hold of the link, so like there was like hundreds of submissions that we had to go through, which made it difficult. So the cross chain right now, just without having like the tech set up. But I love the idea. Like even when I did my first fake rare, like it was cool helping people set up free wallet and stuff like that. So I think the coolest part about it is just like kind of teaching people new tech. Because like the next thing too is we have these stamps, and it's like most people are only exposed to one chain. And I just have really bad ADHD. So like when like new things pop up, I always try to put stuff on them. And like it's turned out to like kind of, I feel like there's been some cool comments and people like, yeah, I had no idea about this or that. And like now mullets have like kind of got me a free wallet. I have my first stamp, and now I have this. And that's kind of the goal. Like indirectly, that's kind of been like a really cool side effect of all of this. But yeah, man, I mean, mullets, dude, you can put them on anything. It's fucking epic. It's really amazing. And I mean, it's definitely a party. So
I give you credit, man. Your meme game is strong, bro. I appreciate the fine art you do on a daily meme basis, adding mullets to literally everything. And you're right, it works, man. It just works, bro.
I had to go through my Instagram and screenshot all of my old mullet pictures. I had some strong mullets back in the day. I kind of miss it at times.
It's true. The one you sent me, and dude, honestly, there's been so many strange things. Like I could have never have planned like a project like this, because it doesn't make sense. And like, second of all, like I don't know, it just kind of people send photos of themselves, and that's super rare in crypto Twitter. And like people are sending like, yo, check out my mullet, and it's like it humanizes a lot of accounts for me, and it's really cool to kind of like, I don't know, man. I'm just super stoked. Like everything's kind of like I said, I couldn't have sat down with like a whiteboard and be like, all right, this is gonna be the plan. It's just kind of like I got Sam from Odyssey on my podcast, and he said this line that just stuck with me. He's like, it's like Web 2 in the front, Web 3 in the back. I just kept putting mullets on things, and then yeah, it looks hilarious. And then I started growing my mullet. Skrilla still gives me a hard time. He calls it the invisible mullet, but I'm getting there. And yeah, dude, like there's been really cool side effects. Like I said, people learning about, fake rares and rare Pepes, and even myself getting deeper into that, because the mullet party was the first fake rare that I had released. And I've had people like Viva La Vandal do like a mullet season, and like his artwork is amazing, and having him submit, I don't know, just like, it's definitely going fast, but it's like, and it's super fun, dude. And yeah, I see the main man down there, and he like guided me through the whole fake rare thing, which is, I highly suggest people go check out. Like, if collecting and on stamps is something that you're interested in, even on ordinals. I know Skrilla has like a lot of early collections coming out here soon too, and it really just like lives and breathes what I think Bitcoin is going towards, because Counterparty's just kind of been on top of it. They've just been a little bit ahead of their time, I think.
I agree. I'm excited for the stamp stuff. I didn't even realize there's a new stamp resource I pinned to the top, actually, and I believe they're in the crowd, so shout out to you guys. The best way to stay up to date, I would say, with anything stamps, just called BTC Stamp News. There's a lot going on. From what I hear, Universal, who's behind Rare Stamp, is going to begin teasing out some of the Emblem integrations into Rare Stamps, which is going to be very exciting. And I'm actually going to be on a show on Monday for Stamp Punks with Function, which caught me by surprise. I didn't know he was a Stamp Punk holder. So shout out to the Stamp Punk team for putting that together. That'll be a cool conversation. And it seems like Viva La Vandal, man, is crushing it. It seems like you're becoming one of the top artists down there in the stamp game. Always loved your stuff. And I believe Viva also has a 1-of-1 in the upcoming Mullet Punk drop on Ordinal. Is that right, Bunzi?
Yeah, like, dude, Viva La Vandal's been riding with, like, he spins up stuff so quick too. So when I was doing the Mullet Punk collection, I was very much like into 1-of-1s and I was like, dude, you got to make a Mullet Punk 1-of-1. So we made one. And then I also, thanks to Leonidas, I figured out one of the inscriptions is on the Pizza Sat Satoshi, like a rare one. The site's super sick. I had no idea. And I was like, no way. We got landed on a 2010 Satoshi. So we'll be auctioning those off just because I feel like those ones are super dank. And yeah, the drop's going to be today. I'm super excited. And stamps, like I said, like, but the ADHD, like when stamps came out, I got the mini Mullet Pepe sub 10K on stamps. So like people that get these Mullet Punks definitely gonna, keep the family tight and, hopefully introduce them to stamps here very, very soon. And then, I mean, I don't know if you want to get into it, but we're gonna be vaulting some stuff. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's gonna be a fucking party in the back. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll cover that. Actually, sure. We'll just talk about it right now, so you guys can get a little bit of alpha. So we have here shared on the screen the Cursed Ordinals OpenSea collection.
If you guys aren't on YouTube right now, you can. I'll pin the tweet down below so you guys can watch the video along with the space.
Yeah, so here's a little bit of a preview. The royalties are going to be brought down to 2.5%. We still have to fill in some of the descriptions, but we've gone going through the testing. And so you can see here, there was 3 that were vaulted. Some of them have been unvaulted. It's actually a pretty simple process where you're going to go in on emblem.finance, you click Curse Ordinals, and you just type in the negative integer, and then it pre-populates the image description and title, so you don't actually have to go in and do anything. And then you just send the ordinal in to make sure that it matches, and then you just mint it straight to the Cursed Ordinals Curated collection. And this is actually like a major accomplishment for us at Emblem, because this is going to be the first ERC-721 vaulting standard. So now we'll have it for ERC-1155s and for 721. So essentially you could take any type of NFT collection from pretty much any blockchain, at least the 12 that we have integrated, and we can deploy a curated collection for you, which is basically just assigning a smart contract to it so that you could go dabble in the world of Ethereum any way you want. It seems like the beginning is mostly just going to be buying and selling and transacting, but you can really go take these things and go dabble in DeFi, or go dabble in gaming, go dabble in the metaverse. And we have some plans on how to kind of introduce that. As we were discussing kind of the very beginning of the show, we've come to learn as Emblem is that if we're going to roll out a new product, it's probably best to roll out a collection alongside it so that people kind of understand what to do with it, or what it means. And so by doing that, we're actually partnering with Bunzi here, and we're going to be launching 69 cursed mullets on the official collection. Cursed mullets. I've seen the art. It looks absolutely dank, and it's going to be fun, right? You have this mint that's happening on Friday, and then early next week, we'll assign the cursed mullets inside of the curated collection. It'll have all proper metadata tagging as well for traits, and we'll go off and sell them. But for that, we're excited to partner with Bunzi, to partner with a big creator. Bunzi's, the hot girl at the party. Everyone's trying to touch him right now. And but he's just got a mullet, man. Everyone wants a piece of that mullet right now. It's insane.
Bunzi, is that the first time in your life, bro? I'm guessing yes.
Yeah, I feel like a girl like that blossomed after high school, and then like the DMs just blew up. But no, I mean, what's cool too, actually, as you were explaining it, like the thing that I felt about mullets, like Emblem Vault, dude. What you guys have done too to like get people cross chains and collecting things from, chains that they had no idea about. That just kind of like stuck out to me when you were discussing it, because it's so cool going through the Rare Pepe collection on your guys' site too. But yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. Like the cursed mullets is definitely pretty dope. I had a fun time working. I'm still putting some finishing touches too, but it's very like influenced by Tony that did the Ordinal Biz Maxi stuff. I've been talking to ZK Shark, and if you look at their latest one, there's a few mullets in the green eyes. So like it's gonna be super sick to put these in, and again, using mullets and Emblem Vault to showcase a whole nother side of a chain that people probably don't know what cursed inscriptions are. So it's like that education piece is super cool, and I think cursed collections and like rare satoshis are like for like the super collectors, like people that collect very rare and obscure things. But I think that's a majority of us, as we all collect PFPs and weird things. But no, I'm super excited and like stoked too that you guys reached out to do that, because it actually inspired the idea too. You guys are like, oh, I'm doing cursed, like, and then I just got to work and they turned out pretty sick. I was like, holy shit, these look pretty cool. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, they came out really well. The best part, right, is that you get to go to Ethereum. We can assign the metadata. We can add all kinds of additional functionalities, and you could go dabble in the Ethereum ecosystem. You could go take them to NFTFi borrowing and lending platforms. You could go take it to some of the DeFi protocols, right? Go take your mullet punks and do a pseudo swap pool with your mullet punks.
That gives me a lot of ideas for the OG Ethereum mullet punk holders, because if people miss out on the mint today, because there's going to be, I think, I don't know, seems like according to my DMs, there's like a little bit of hecticness, but like Monday, I think I don't know, both are dope to collect, but I feel like these ones, maybe just because like they're newer to me, but I don't know, man. I think they're pretty fucking like whenever we decide to do it, I think for the Ethereum OGs, this will be a good way to snag some really dope, something of the mullet ecosystem that I think super dope.
The mullet ecosystem.
Isn't that
Bro,
crazy?
did you? I mean, obviously 6ix9ine, but did you know that today was Punk's birthday, man? Did you happen to know that?
No, I just knew it was International Mullet Day.
Bro, good. I mean, it's amazing timing. I don't know if the punks, if Matt and John actually knew that when they launched the Punks contract or thought about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Today's the birth of CryptoPunks, man.
6 years today.
This is why I like being friends with you guys. You teach me so much about this stuff. You're like, Leonidas is like, yeah, you have a pizza Satoshi. You guys are like, oh, see, you guys know what's up. I just put mullets on things and fucking like, Let's go. Hell yeah. I got to make some memes off that. This is perfect.
But,
This is what I'm saying, dude. I couldn't have planned this stuff. Like, shit doesn't, like, just, I don't know. There's just been a lot of serendipity and just like a lot of like cool things happening around it that, like, even if I tried, I don't think I could do it like, like how it's going. So I'm just super grateful, and I think it's going to be super fun. The people that are rallying around it seem to be fucking really awesome people, especially from the ETH collection. So I'm excited to get some of these BTC maxis in here and see what we can do. Hopefully,
your next tweets need to be mullets with on Matt and John, the creators of CryptoPunks. I think that
what numbers are they? What numbers are there?
No, like their actual pictures. Their stuff. Their stuff is out there. I was gonna call on Reply Guy or whoever this guy is. Reply God. Oh, with Pepe. I think you had a question for somebody up here. If you want to go ahead, I think I just let you on stage. Reply God. Or if you just want to hang out.
Hey,
dude.
well, I did want to hang out, but is Mullet Punks, is that a free mint, or what's the cost on that?
No, unfortunately, it's expensive to inscribe them all. And so it's going to be 0.00420 Bitcoin naturally. But yeah, they're going to go live on Ordinals wallet. And then yeah, it's going to be a public party. I don't subscribe to like the whitelist grinding and stuff. So I don't know, it'll probably bite me in the ass when it goes live, but I didn't really want to put people through like doing whitelist grinding stuff, and just kind of want to do a public mint and, first come, first serve, do it the old fashioned way.
Honestly, can't go any worse than the MXRC mint. So
I'll default to that. Be like, guys, I'll just start posting blue fucking mullets.
Oh my God. You know what's funny? Actually, I just saw it this morning. So speaking of these BRC20 metas, I just saw one of them this morning that's now green, and it's called it's like XBTG. So it's like green XBT, and they're doing the green squares, and they're doing the same exact whitelist meta that meta the BRC did and BitGod did. And I was like, I guess we're just gonna go through the full rainbow at this point. But
that's unfortunately probably gonna happen. It's like what? It's like green, and then we're gonna start getting into different shades, and there's gonna be like shade maxis, and they're gonna be like, no, I'm light purple gang. And then I don't know, Leonidas is probably gonna drop some purple mullets. Your hood, like all I see is mullets now, dude. It's fucked up. Like I look at the mempool and it like starts to bend. I'm like, dude, that's a nice mullet.
Dude, actually, now that I look at Leo's PFP fresh, it does look like one big giant mullet.
Dude. Dude, it sucks, dude. I like even everything's a mullet, and it's getting weird, but Leonidas, I really like it. I really appreciate you supporting.
It's like it's really like it's the same kind of like it's the same kind of thing that happens, or phenomena that happens to the Pepe community. Like when I first interviewed Skrilla, it was like, bro, all I see is frogs and everything that I do now. And it's probably anybody who's a Pepe artist. So maybe you can start a movement of just mullet artists.
Yeah, no, actually, dude, that's the goal. Like randomly, like I said, I've been largely inspired by the fake rare community, and basically just like what they did to the rare Pepe, just kind of like ripped it off. And I'm doing like mullet season, and it's really cool because there's a lot of artists that are doing really cool things. And if I somehow have a platform to help showcase their art, like I'm definitely going to do that, because there's so many amazing artists that like, dude, I had like Naples, who's like a fantastic oil painter, do like a super dope piece. Like Viva La Vandal did one, and it's art. Yeah, I don't know. So it's super cool to do that. And as this kind of, I start to like figure it out, like my goal is to try to do manifold-esque drops on Bitcoin and help artists do that, because a lot of artists I feel like could use some of that attention with like trends moving, and I'd love to like help them and like show them. Like Digi's down in the crowd, and I want to like help him do releases on Ordinals, because his artwork's super fucking perfect for Ordinals, because it's like pixel based. And if I can help like do that for people, that's 100% what I'm trying to like. I would love to be that like bridge for people to try new technologies. And as we see, like, it helps attention to some of these artists that focus on their art, right? And so it's cool to do that. So yeah, mullet season's definitely going to kick back up once I get through this mint today.
Let's go. To kind of close out the mullets and the cursed ordinals on Emblem Vault kind of update. If you could see, if you're on YouTube, you could see at the bottom ticker, we have the top 5 sales, and also just like I put the top emblem news. So alongside the rollout of cursed ordinals, you will be able to, this has been one of the most highly requested asks for Emblem Vault for quite some time. You will now be able to pay for vaults in Ethereum. So that is a new, so you can pay for, so there's going to be some changes that are happening. So here, let me kind of just like break it down. So you're going to be able to pay for vaults in Ethereum. It's going to be $20, pegged to $20 USD. And so the ETH value will consistently change. It's just pegged to $20 straight. If you hold Koval is now moving to be a discount token, and it'll be used for different token gated things that are used within the Emblem ecosystem, and possibly some other rewards moving forward, and used for other we'll just say mechanics that are rolled out. So it's cool. We set it at $20. If you have 5,000 Koval, you'll get 15% off. If you own, I believe, 15,000 Koval, you get 50% off. So it goes down to $10. We are aware, and those numbers are not final because we got to see where the demand is overall. But Koval is going to be more used for our power users, and for some of the B2B side as well, for API services and some of the infrastructure. The Koval as payment has been such a massive barrier. It's been really unfortunate. It's turned away a ton of customers because of just like this 2-click process of just going to Uniswap and buying. So we bumped up the price a little bit, but you can get it back down, right? Because royalties have also kind of gone to 0. So we've been figuring that out. We're setting a standard for all of our collections on Ordinals, where it's just going to be 2.5% royalties across the board for anything Ordinals. And then our next project, I'm not going to say it yet. Maybe I'll tease it next episode. We have big plans for what's coming next.
Teasing. Yes.
The pre-teasing. Yeah, we're putting our biggest Justin Sun on. Yeah, I'm actually, what our next thing that we're doing after Curse Ordinals is probably one of my favorite projects that we've done with Emblem. Very, very excited. A lot of things happening on the back end. But yeah, the ETH payments, it's there is like a little bit of slippage too, because of how it's built. Because also ETH is volatile, but it's pegged to essentially $20, and you can get discounts. And we will play with the Koval discount amounts over time to find out what's the most fair value for everyone. There is 8,500 Koval holders, so we definitely hear you. And moving forward with that, the Cursed Ordinal API will be available. So if you are a builder in the crowd and you want to tie in Cursed Ordinals to your marketplace, reach out to us. And
that took some effort, man. So it's not lightly done, man. Our API for the Cursed Ordinals was a pretty heavy lift.
Yeah.
So
a lot of coordination to get that done. Between reaching out to the Ordinal core team, to talking with the other marketplaces to make sure everyone's on the same page. We've had to set up like 3 different telegrams with different groups to like make sure that everyone's kind of on the same page and running the same software. It's been a little chaotic, but yeah, really excited for the 721, the Cursed Ordinals, everything under the sun for that. So Dogfather has a question. If anyone else has questions about this, please come on stage, and we'll be happy to answer these.
I mean, I have a comment. I think this was long overdue. I never wanted to fat Koval, but I think if you want to simplify, if you want to onboard, I mean, that was really essential. And it was on my list since long time to write about that, to tweet about that. But then I was like, okay, you guys are so like, desktop, and Shannon developed so much, into that, and so much OG. I had too much respect doing that, but
Sorry about that. Go ahead, Dogfather.
so much.
Did he just knock down Dogfather? Don't let him FUD.
No, I accidentally hit the mute button. I was trying to light somebody on stage, so send the request again. I hit the mute button. Just go ahead, Dogfather, and request again, whoever you were.
No, I think this is really, really simplifying stuff, because I mean, once you bought Koval bonds, it's okay, but I mean, to just see that a very exotic token that you need, it's really decreasing the barrier. And I think this was really a very important step, and you will see numbers going up. And obviously the next thing you're talking about next week is Doge Party, right? Just kidding.
A Doge Party curated collection is definitely something that we've always wanted to do. We're in the process. We're working with actually two devs that are familiar with the historical NFT community, who's been working alongside us. And we're hoping to scale so that they could become full-time team members is kind of the goal, right? This is one step to kind of get there, is through vaulting. Emblem is internally, we've kind of moved from kind of just being this curator of communities to being more of an infrastructure company. And so that's what we're trying to do. Right, with these curated collections, the long-term goal is that whoever is the owner, let's say, I'll use an example, Bitcoin stamps or something like that. The goal is that the community can then create a DAO or something around that collection so that they can kind of set the parameters to it. We just enforce the tech. In essence, like that's kind of our long-term goal. We don't want to have to manage, 200 different communities across all these blockchains. It's quite cumbersome, and it's it's a tough process, especially with the Koval thing. And I'll kind of explain why it took so long. Koval actually had started in 2014 when Shannon had acquired Ribbit Rewards. So shout out to the frog people out there. And it's gone through quite.
These were the original Ribbits, man.
The original Ribbits was a loyalty blockchain. Shannon had acquired it, and then it migrated it to Counterparty 2016. So then it exists on Counterparty. Then it moved to ETH. And so it's had this community that's traveled with it. And now to have 8,500 holders. And the original use of Koval and some of the original plans was more DeFi based. And so when Adam and I joined, we began to notice, there's kind of two, Emblem and Koval is kind of bifurcated with two communities. You had this growing, accelerating NFT ecosystem that now sits at 12,000 holders, which is the 6th largest NFT collection on Ethereum. Like it's larger than it's a larger community base than Mutant Apes even is. Right. And then on the other side, we have Koval that has 8,500 holders, and these individuals who, they've gone through the whole entire ride, and they want DeFi applications. So we've had to figure out, like, how do you kind of manage both of these at the same time and try to intertwine it? And so we've tried to do our best, and now building this kind of $20 peg with Ethereum. It's going to cut out a lot of that friction. That's something we've been wanting to do for a while. And now it's applying the different utilities to Koval, because Koval's also gone through some changes because of some of the regulatory uncertainties that exist in America. We are an American country, or American company, I should say, right? And so the next step actually, and this is built out, maybe I'll tease some of the images here in the near future. We are rebuilding our the UI and UX for Emblem.finance. So it's going to be internally modernized. It'll be very similar to how you navigate these NFT marketplaces, and then reconstructing the vaulting experience as we move from the legacy collection, which is going more into maintenance mode, where we're just going to be maintaining the current technologies that exist in it, not adding anything new, and moving to the curated collections so that any artist, right? If you're a stamp artist, right, I could essentially just create a Viva La Vandal curated collection where he could put everything from stamps to Counterparty to Ordinals, all in an individual smart contract, so that they can use on OpenSea, and get some creator royalties on top of it. So that's kind of like where we're planning on going. It's going to take a little bit, but the UI UX upgrade of Emblem.finance is going to be another huge upgrade because it's also going to be mobile compatible. And that's kind of our big focus, right? Emblem.finance is a little clunky on mobile. And so with this new update with the UI UX, Emblem will also be completely frictionless on the mobile experience. So that should also encourage some vaults and some user base. Ethord, I saw you had your hand up.
Yeah, I mean, you explained a lot that I had as a question, but let me preface this by saying the SEC is kind of making shit up as they go. But that kind of the reason why there's this switch, and is it limiting to what you can actually use and do with Koval because of the concerns?
Well, so we had to pause the burning, right? They actually, if you look at the SEC filing, they literally note burning as a mechanism for securities, and that's what they noted. Solana and forget there was a few other ones on there as well, right? So that has to be immediately paused and taken away. Also, the token, right, was created in like 2019, so there's some limitations there. And now, kind of how most NFT infrastructure operates is denomination and payments in ETH. Is just ETH has become that ecosystem, or it has become that payment within the ecosystem. Whereas originally, at the time when Emblem was deployed in 2020 and the token was created before that, there wasn't DeFi, didn't exist. DeFi was just in its early stages. So the tokens, your native token as payment was kind of the thing at the time. And the space has largely moved away from that and has just deterred so many users from it, from just like simple technical complications, from like having to set your gas limit, right, to go buy it, having to pay the gas fee for it, make sure you're buying the right amount, right, as the price changes. And so it's been a little complicated. But the token, right, so we do have a plan for some of the Koval stuff. Right now it's moved to, right, a discount for power users eventually, likely, and this isn't certain, right, token gated stuff for the API access as we kind of move forward. Or potentially, if we want to do some sort of like NFT pass, right? You can use that you could use the Koval to buy that for whatever the functionality is or whatever the mechanics are. It's just we have to be safe. But the goal for us right now is reducing as much friction as possible. We want to get that vaulting process down to 3 or 4 clicks. It should be 90 seconds at most for each of them. And that's the goal. And so when I vaulted the Pepe Curated and the Curse Ordinals, it took about 90 seconds to create one. And so we believe with the new UI UX, it should be even faster than that.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, basically, sorry, go ahead.
There's no plan to spin up a DAO and use this as the governance token or utilize it for revenue that's going to the platform, anything like that.
It's possible. I cannot state that. I cannot state the intention of it yet, but it's something we have discussed. Emblem, right? We do want Emblem to be as decentralized as possible. We're actually working with a few infrastructure companies to add additional layers of decentralization to Emblem. And so those are active, ongoing conversations to figure it out. This kind of thing has never been done, right? Emblem is literally the only person in this vaulting space. And the example I use very often is there's kind of 3 ways to move assets across chains. If you think of blockchains as countries, think of dApps and L2s as cities. And so then you think of bridge vaults and wraps as kind of the transportation mechanism between these countries. And so you have a bridge, and I posted this the other day. The total TVL of bridges is $10 billion right now to go between chains. You have wrapping, which is, right, like WBTC, I believe is also close to $10 billion in market cap. And then you have vaults, right, which we call TVV, total value vaulted, which is maybe $30 to $50 million. So it's still like this idea of a vault as a shipping container across that takes assets across countries, blockchains, is still very early in its infancy, although we've been around for a while. My expectation is that you'll see other competitors pop up, and then this kind of like vaulting Infrastructure will grow to billions of dollars in TVV as people realize that you're not getting a synthetic asset on the other side. You're actually getting like the real thing, right? Bridging is generally you get a synthetic asset on the other side.
Yeah.
So a lot of these like conversations with these infrastructure companies is it takes a while to really even dissect like what is built and like how to get it done.
Yeah. It's funny. I was just, as you were mentioning the total value, I'm like, I need one of these famous Leo bubble charts, with like the total value of ETH NFTs, total value of, Bitcoin NFT, whatever, I need one of those for like bridging versus vaulting, right? Because we're like at that stage. And it's interesting too, because I don't know, I think I put out a tweet this morning, what I put out, like teleburning is stupid, right? Prove me wrong, that kind of meme. Because I do think it's stupid, right? I think burning an asset on one chain and then minting a brand new one on another is dumb. Like I don't think that's the way we want to control our assets long term. And yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I might have to do, Leo, I might have to steal one of your graphs, do that for Ethereum, man, or for Emblem Vault, because it's true, right? I mean, we, especially in this collector space, we believe in kind of provenance of these assets, right? And keeping them on their native chain. And so I know we're going to debate this for the next probably decade with people. And I definitely think there are use cases for bridges and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I couldn't be more excited about what we're doing. And I think, to Dogfather's point, reducing that friction, which trust me, I know is a big friction point. Like that was a big one, because even for me, like you just see something pop up and it's like, oh, I got to go get this. Oh God, I got to connect my wallet. Oh, what is this? Yeah, I'm really, really excited to roll this out. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dogfather.
Yeah, just one comment. I mean, this is, an Emblem Vault sponsored show. I think of a super token. I mean, at the end, you keep both, right? You keep your ETH or whatever kind of chain token, plus you have your inscription, everything in one vault. You have, best of all worlds, I would say. You keep all assets, but you can demonstrate that you control the legacy asset, the legacy token on another chain, plus the inscription. I think that's a pretty interesting way to go.
Yeah, the super token idea has been getting a little bit more attention. I've seen more people talk about it. It's the idea of like taking two similar assets and putting them in a vault, right? So if you have a Bitcoin, if you have Bitcoin Punk 2222 and ETH Punk 2222, and the V1, you could all put it in a vault and create essentially a super token, and really dabble with other kind of things. There's a lot of ideas around there that I have actually about that as well. So we'll have to save that for another day. We just need a dev team of like 400 so we could get this done. At the end of the day, there's so many other ideas moving forward.
We have our North Star, man, and the North Star is Emblem being basically invisible, right? Where collectors can just collect whatever they want to collect. They don't even have to worry about the chain. They're collecting it where they want, and Emblem is just that underlying infrastructure, and that we might be years away, but that's what we're working for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I do want to pass it off to ETH Horde for one of my favorite segments of the show that apologize we didn't get to last week. There was a very heated debate around the Bitcoin scams community. Could not pass it off with a feeling like I was going to get chastised for cutting it off right in the middle. So excited to see this segment.
Apologies to Matt Damon. We ran out of time. But no, I totally get it. I know we talked one-on-one on it. And yeah, I mean, I'm 100% with you. Not a problem. We can talk about it today. So welcome to Hoarder's Corner, the segment where we dive into the fascinating world of physical collecting. Today, we're shifting gears and exploring a unique and often overlooked collectible vanity license plate. So I don't know, anyone on stage, does anyone have a vanity license plate?
I do not. But I did see there was one that just sold was it in Dubai for like $11 million? I think it was number 7 license plate, something like that.
Yeah. We'll be covering that one. It's definitely the record breaker. And when I saw that headline, I was like, all right, I got to do this one eventually. And I saw that Dogfather was doing a naming one, so I thought it'd be perfect timing. And also, yeah, I got my ETH recently. So yeah, I think the stars aligned a little bit with this. Fast and Furious 10 came out. So without further ado, let's get into the origins and evolution of this. It's actually pretty fascinating. The emergence of automobiles in the early 1900s led to a new problem: crazy motherfuckers on the road and no way to identify them, right? So in 1901, New York became the first state to require license plates, but they did it in a real ass backwards type manner. They basically said, look, if you have an automobile, you got to create your own identification license plate yourself. So people would craft whatever the heck they had at home and fasten it to the back of their car. And the only requirement was to include your initials. So yeah, I don't know about you, but there's a lot of people with the same initials. So they didn't think that one through too well. But the first state issued tags were made from iron and then covered in porcelain. You know, that thing that breaks easily when you drop it? That's what they were making the early ones out of. So because the fragility of the porcelain plates is unsurprisingly impractical, manufacturers started experimenting with other materials such as cardboard, leather, and get this, even pressed soybeans.
Interesting.
Recyclable. There we go.
Yeah, the soybean companies were doing 100Xs for a good month after that. But let's jump forward to 1931. Pennsylvania became the first state to offer personalized license plates. And this obviously changed the game. The popularity of custom license plates has continued to grow globally just every year. And it's a great way to showcase someone's hobbies, interests, sense of humor, or to simply flex a single-digit prestige plate. I have a quiz for you guys. I like to find a little fun fact quiz and see if anyone can answer it. And if anyone can get it right, I will offer up an NFT of slightly nothing value. So the question on this one is, which state has the highest amount of vanity plates? And what is the percentage against the total plates issued within that state?
Oh, so like the highest percentage number?
Leo,
So
you got
exactly. How many of the plates in that state are vanity, and which state is it? Leo, you got your hand up.
Nevada, 1.2%.
That is not correct. Does anyone else want to take a guess?
I would go with Montana.
8.9%.
Beep, beep.
Thank you.
I appreciate the sound effects we got going. The answer, I didn't hear anyone say it. The answer is Virginia.
Ooh.
Oh, I said it.
Did you
I
say
said
it?
Virginia, 16.9%.
Oh, because you looked it up?
Yeah, for sure.
Whoa.
But yeah,
Wait,
that's
6 and 9 again? Does 6 9 just keep coming up in the show? The whole show.
That's right.
That's 6 9.
16.9.
16% though. Isn't that insane?
It's crazy.
16% of license plates are.
That does
vanity.
seem really high. That's crazy.
And I looked into the why. So in a lot of states, California, for example, I think it's $150 to have a vanity license plate, which is, I believe, yearly. And in Virginia, it is the cheapest out of any state. I think it's been a week since I did my research. I think it was only $10 though. It was either $5 or $10. It was like nothing.
Yeah, but the money isn't the limiting factor. It's like going to the DMV.
Yeah.
Man.
Right. Can you do it by mail? That's the or do it online. Then that's the easy one, right? All the rest is like, forget it.
Yeah. But the DMV obviously is like pulling teeth. But hell, if it was only $5, I'd create a Horde license plate. Why not?
For sure.
Yeah, I would too.
Nice.
I would. All right, give us the top sales denominated in ETH.
Yep, of course. So the first one, this was a record breaker that lasted for about a decade. In 2008, someone in Abu Dhabi bought the license plate just one. The number one for $9.5 million. Ooh. That is 5,034 ETH, And the dude who bought it, it was his property mogul, and they asked him why anyone would spend so much money on a license plate. And he said, I bought it because it's the best number.
He's not wrong.
Dude, I'm
I mean,
going
maybe 69, but you know, to each their own.
on YouTube. I'm going through this this list, and it has the top 25, and I went through the top 15, and it's literally 70% Abu Dhabi. I don't know what's going on down there, but these people like the license plates.
The vibrant license plate market over there in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny, when I was in Estonia, you know, we'd walk into Old Town Estonia, and there was a Porsche parked every day in the same spot on the street, and the license plate was 007. You know, and I said, "Wow, look at this guy." You know, there's something to it, man. No doubt about it.
Flex.
Yeah, it's definitely baller, but it's a big status culture thing there, especially in the Middle East. And I read somewhere that someone said they pulled up to this VIP club in their Corvette or whatever, and the valet person saw their license plate and said, "You're not welcome in here. You don't have a number license plate." Like a full flex. Well, okay, so I'm going to jump to, and it's kind of all over the place from what's on that list, but I put P7, that's the one we talked about. That one just sold literally 2 months ago for $15 million. It set records. That's 7,950 ETH, which is just gnarly. And even though it is P7, I want to note, and you'll be able to see it in that photo if you're on YouTube, but the P is just kind of it's a different symbol that they're required to have, but it's way off to the left. So it really just looks like someone bought, like their license plate is a flex of just the number 7, which we know is a lot of people's favorite number. So I get it. I don't think it's as cool as 1. This is Dubai, not Abu Dhabi. So it's 2 different places, but yeah, that's a shit ton of money. It's the most ever, which the only reason it's not number 1 on this list is because it's not really true, but I'm gonna have it as our quote grail today, which is the license plate MM in California. This person is asking, they haven't sold it, and this was in the peak of people spending money printer go burr in 2021. But the dude thought he could get $24 million for it, which would be 12,800 ETH. And what is kind of unique, and might as well talk about here, is this person. So it's got this license plate, and I note that a 2-character plate is the hardest license plate to get in the US, right? They don't offer 1-digit plates in the US. So if you have the same letter, then it's obviously the most rare because there's only 35 of those. So this super rare, I don't know about the letter M in itself, but this particular plate is also assigned with an NFT. So the actual license plate on the back has a QR code, which then you'd be the owner of this NFT that's the same kind of MM. And there is a link for that. I don't know if you have it loaded up, but it's kind of cool. You can see it on OpenSea. If anyone wants to look, it's under Epic Plates. So it's 0000 under Epic Plates.
Yeah, it says there's only 35 of these in existence in the US of 2-character plates.
How did they so what's this, like a super old plate or something, and it's just been passed down?
It's like grandfathered in or something.
Yeah,
you can front run the plates. There's a thing really wealthy people like to do where they do, like, let's say I was very wealthy and I would do NB1, NB2, NB3 on all the cars. And I see it a lot. And I've always wanted to, like, kind of step in and just like be NB7 or like on someone's thing and like make them buy it off of me. Cause like if I was rich as fuck, that would like really ruin my day. If I have like, you know, NB1 through 5 and then someone buys NB6, like I would go to the ends of the world to try to get my NB6 because I have NB7, you know?
Makes sense, right? What about like Jay Leno? What if his are like JL1 through 100 and someone's got 101? And Leno's just going to be like, you know, here's a blank check. Just give
That's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah.
That's like how they eat. That's how the
just
.eth
go to the
maxis work.
Hamptons. Go to the Hamptons and look in the driveways and just write down anyone who does it. And yeah, those are all great perspectives.
Nifty Universe in the comments says California DMV is now using Tezos. I did not know that. Interesting. Of course,
It's a private
of course, because it's
fork of it.
because it's green, because it's the green chain. And it's in
Are they using, what's that? A fork of it? They're using a fork of Tezos?
It's a private fork of it. Yeah.
Hey, we're getting our foot in the door, so makes sense. I pulled up something here on the screen, which I actually found that Punk6529 tweeted this out yesterday, or he replied to it. It says, how many people collect collectibles? More than 6 in 10 Americans are collectors. Across all respondents, 61% say they consider themselves to be a collector. Collecting is the most popular, and this is what actually caught my attention. Collecting is the most popular among Gen Zers ages 18 to 25, which is 76%, and millennials ages 26 to 41, 72%. Meanwhile, men tend to collect more than women, 70% versus 51. So you're saying 70% of Americans 18 to 41 are collectors. How insane is that? Makes me bullish on our digital collectibles.
Yep.
What did you collect before NFTs, Jake?
So I actually owned an antique store in real life. I live in Las Vegas. I had that from 2017, 18 for 2 years. So that taught me a lot about collectibles. But my parents are from the hippie era, so my house is just full with like antiques, from like mid-century furniture to old vinyl records, to old radios, to pretty much like anything under the sun. But when I was younger, I was a big Pokemon card collector. And
Got his
Pog.
heavy Pokemon bags.
I was heavy, dude. I
He
still
had
got,
his thing on his desk behind him.
yeah, you could see it if you're walking. It's like over here somewhere down here.
I wish I still had my Pokemon cards.
Oh man, dude.
I had the coolest collection from Gen 1, dude. Remember when the movie came out and you got the gold Mewtwo card and the Pokeball?
Yeah. It's unfortunate that Mewtwo card though from the movie's not worth shit though, because it was so mass distributed, unfortunately.
That's all right. The unfortunate part for me is that I came home from school one day and my dad had burned my whole collection because he thought they were satanic. I swear to you, dude. I had at least 5 Charizards, man. Like, like nowadays it'd be worth like priceless, but I had quite a collection, dude. I really did.
Wow.
But, yeah, that was one of the biggest hits I've ever taken. Looking back from current stance, like here in time now, like, yeah, that was a big one.
Bro, generational wealth into the burn address. Damn, bro. That's cold. Your dad.
Yeah, it wasn't even my fault.
Literal burn address. Burn that shit to the ground, man. That's
sends it back to the depths of hell.
I think his like church pastor told him that they were satanic or something. I don't know, dude. I was a little kid at the time still.
Oh man, yeah, it was
unfortunate event, but
Here's the therapy, Len.
Speaking of Pokemon, I know Adam's been putting a lot of posts out about Pokemon, about the I forget what's the holding company that owns Pokemon, but they've been just like inflating their supply way. I talk about that a little bit. What you found?
Yeah, it just that basically it's similar to what kind of happened with basketball cards, I guess in the mid to late 80s or 90s or whatever, where they just printed a shit ton. And, you know, we don't really have numbers, but basically Pokemon, the company, has just been printing these things like crazy. And it kind of came to light when people who were working at like the printing factory were basically stealing all these rares. And one guy got busted at a show with literally like 10,000s of these Charizards and stuff, which there's only supposed to be a handful of these things. And this dude's got literal stacks of these ones, which was kind of like brought it to attention. And I tweeted about it. It was like probably the most popular tweet ever. It was like 1 million people retweeted that fucking thing. And yeah, because it's just, look, there. I mean, look, there's like that swath of people that you just mentioned, you know, men 20 to 40, like all of them had Pokemon growing up, right? And so there's literally billions and billions of Pokemon cards out there. And basically we've all been tricked to think that these are like somehow rare. And it's just not, they're not rare at all, but we just don't know the numbers. But the numbers are, I mean, I saw a thing the other day, estimates are like 55 billion Pokemon cards or something like this have been printed. Like, you know, that Charizard that you think's rare, like it's trading like it's rare, but there's no rarity to it at all. Like there are literally tens of thousands of these ones that you think are rare. And
But
so
the Gen 1 cards were truly like first of their kind.
yeah, no, that's
you
different
can't
story.
mint the first production again. So
Yeah, that's a different story, but kind of in the middle of these hype cycles where there've been these like Pokemon like super cycles. Yeah, there's just this debate about rarity and how rare they are. Nobody really knows. And I think like
it's a great debate. You know, there's so many cards nowadays. It's like it is a great debate with the diminishing unit over time as they mass produce more. You would assume, so to speak, right?
Yeah, I think there's massive inflation, but the thing is that Pokemon has, and that I think the NBA has with Top Shots, and Top Shots has done a similar thing. We know the amounts of Top Shots, and Top Shots have been massively overproduced, which basically killed the collectors, and the collectors kind of all left. But NBA and Pokemon have something that, you know, other stuff doesn't, which is they have this IP that people are going to keep coming back for. Like, so they can rebound. And I think we've seen that like in the, you know, NBA card game has actually come back because they actually have restricted supply. The collectors come back in, you kind of reinvigorate it. And so I think like, you know, Pokemon, it's the beauty of it is you have these, you know, literally hundreds of millions of collectors. And so they can reinvigorate it by doing like truly rare collections again. And, you know, and the collectors will come back because they have like literally so many millions of people who are interested in it. That's the value of this like massively important IP that Pokemon has, NBA has. So they can go through these massive print cycles where they literally make deca millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and then kind of lose collector interest and then restrict supply again. And collectors' interest kind of comes right back. And so, you know, it's interesting to watch from a business perspective, that's for sure. But from a collector's perspective,
the Jordan brand did that as well.
Absolutely. Yep.
So what you're telling me is Pokemon on the blockchain is what?
Bro, well, this is the thing. I don't think I've tweeted about it a bunch now. I don't think they have any impetus to be on the blockchain. Like, why would they? When they can not tell us what the supply is and just dump massive amounts on us. Like, why would they?
For longevity, though, I think everybody sees that this is the future. I mean, it's so great to have the Ordinal inscriptions, being able to see all the stealth mints, what's going on. And for brands that want to have a long-term staying power, I think they are going to convert over. And their users are probably, their customers are probably going to have bigger gains than ever before. They're opening up a global marketplace that can be identified. I mean, think about any company trying to secure the process of printing cardboard, you know, cards for the rest. It's never going to work. So like, it's definitely coming over here, all of it.
I'm with you. I just think it might be a while.
So you're saying inscribed Charizards is the next big collection. Right? I want to talk about inscribed. I do want to talk about inscribed puppies, but first I want to talk Colin Dogfather.
Yeah, well, I was maybe if we find time at the end, we should definitely spend some time on Leonidas' tweet where he was talking about this dude who was inscribing something, you know, with a January 2009 wallet. When I was reading that, I was also mind blowing, and I think this tweet was also going through the roof, over 500,000 views. We should definitely save some time.
No, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Actually, I'm down because I did want to talk about Ord.io as well. So Leo, first, has you've just been sitting over there with your purple mullet, just hanging out in the corner. Can you give us an explanation for this tweet that you put out? I also pulled up on YouTube.
Yeah, so first of all, like, how amazing would it be if I doxed and I have like a 9-inch mullet?
Yeah, Ben says 9-inch mullet.
He's actually put a tape measure to it, bro.
We all have.
Love it.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of explained it in the tweet, to be honest, so I'll just like quickly run through it here. Basically, this individual reached out to me now, I think maybe 2 or 3 days ago, basically sharing a link to ord.io, the site I build, of an inscription claiming that they had signed a message, and the message was ord.io. And they had signed the message with this wallet that, I don't know if people remember, but back in November of 2022, there was this kind of like semi-viral freakout moment where this wallet that was associated with receiving the block reward from block 1018. So this is like 16 days after the Genesis block. That wallet address had signed a message and posted it on Bitcoin Talk. And people were like, obviously you look at that and you're like, oh, fake news, the same way I saw this message and was like, this person's obviously full of it. But then people like actually verified the message and was like, damn, somebody actually signed. So I talked with this individual and kind of learned the backstory on that stuff. And basically, it's not for me to share how the signature was made. It's just like basically they can do that at some point in time. I just thought it was cool that somebody was able to make the signature. And yeah, I thought it was pretty badass that they chose to, sign the message ord.io. Like they're clearly a fan of Ordinals and they're a fan of Inscriptions and they're a fan of what we're doing. And it was very flattering. And I thought it was just kind of a cool thing that people are like, this just kind of feels like one more neat thing people are doing with Ordinals, right? They're signing messages with old wallets. Like that's pretty badass. There could be some collectability around that potentially. So yeah, I just thought it was like a very kind of neat thing that happened there. And yeah.
Has it come out now that wallet though, like multiple people can sign from that wallet now? So it's not like maybe the guy who was, minting or mining Bitcoin in 2009, like that wallet address is actually like maybe not compromised, but that address somehow got shared online with other people.
Yeah, so somebody shared with me, somebody was claiming to have signed a message from yesterday. I wasn't able to verify the message. It's potentially they were like using some weird private key way to do it or something, like a wallet that I couldn't figure out how to verify. But I think, again, it's not for me to exactly say how to do this. I'll just say that as far as the messages I've verified, it would be the November 2022 message on Bitcoin Talk. And then the next one that I'm aware of and that the guy I spoke with at bitcoin.com was aware of, who's researched this a lot, would be the one that was inscribed 2 days ago. And is it possible that that address is out? Like, definitely. I just haven't seen, like, if somebody wants to share a message that I can verify, I would be happy to do that. Like, I think that's, definitely, a possible thing that could happen.
Fantastic. Go ahead, Randy.
Yeah. So, Leonidas, I'm super interested in Bitcoin as an archive, and especially as an archive like of its own history. And I know that you're like really leading the charge on that. So we have like, I would say the first ever real inscription essentially is like the block one inscription of the Chancellor on the brink of the bailout. Like that was an inscription, right? And then you had the first ever JPEG sale that you said it was the first ever sale of anything using Bitcoin, and that was a JPEG, right? And we discovered that like recently, and you had made a big thread about it, that it was before the Bitcoin pizza. So that's kind of a big deal. Do you guys have any plans on Ord.io to like try to become the Bitcoin archive or the Bitcoin museum, and how does that kind of play out and what does that look like?
Yeah, it's a great question. So to me, what Casey created with the Ordinals protocol is sort of like a Bitcoin museum already by default. The fact that all of this content that's getting inscribed, these files that are getting inscribed, are just archived in this beautiful way where you can go to, like, obviously our Explorer, Ordinals wallet, pretty much any Explorer, and sort by the oldest inscriptions, and literally just, it's very easy. You can just go sort by oldest inscription, go to number 0, go to 1, walk through time, and you have this perfect on-chain immutable record of exactly the history that's happened over the last like 6 months with Ordinals and Inscriptions. And the other layer of this is the sats, right? And again, because this is all on-chain, it's 100% on-chain information. And I think the explorers are going to also be able to show kind of the explorers and tooling will get better to show what's behind the sats as well, right? Like where your sat has been. I think that's an interesting kind of thing. And, we did the sats attributes, obviously, and that was a cool thing, but I think there's a lot more you could potentially do there. So yeah, I mean, look, we're definitely thinking about stuff, and I'm hoping other people build tooling as well. I think Ordinals Hub is building some cool tooling here. This site Satting is building some cool things. So I definitely think we're going to see some cool stuff with the sats, not just the inscriptions.
Yeah.
Really appreciate all the information you're putting out there, Leonidas. I see you as one of the biggest drivers for the ordinal space, especially with what you're doing with the rare sats. Just that interaction you had with CZ and Binance, that's gonna, I mean, I'm telling you, all their users are gonna be looking at this space now, and I appreciate everything you're doing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Speaking of history, we created Planetary Ordinals. It was one of the first Ordinals NFT collections. And when we inscribed early, they ended up becoming cursed inscriptions. So it was recently announced that one of the Planetary Ordinals that didn't make it to, the main inscriptions is now like the first ever cursed inscription, -1. So that's like pretty cool. We knew that it was, but it's like finally become like verified because we have better data now. And so that was really fun to watch. And the funniest part about all of that is the seed is lost for all of the first, 10 cursed inscriptions that we had. So yeah, maybe one day we can recover it, but for now it seems.
Wait, how did that happen, man?
Early on we were spinning up like tons of wallets to inscribe. I think you had to, in the beginning, it was like you had to inscribe on a new wallet every time or something.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what happened, but
I can relate to similar issues. I've lost the dev fund for this project on accident.
Oops. Oopsies.
Accidents happen.
Happens, man.
A lot of mistakes. Yeah, I just found out this morning I lost both of my Taproot punks. Unfortunately, the floor on those are like 0.1. So eternal pain dabbling in this ecosystem.
Yeah, eternal pain. You got to think about that for eternal time now.
Oh man, dude. Yeah, I mean, I've been down bad many times. I've been down bad worse. So you just think of it all as just it's kind of like the I know, right? Like the emergency fund that's lost. So
guys, I gotta tell you, I've never been down harder than right now. If I can have a minute, dude, I've waited 6 years to get my license back, and today on 6/9 was the day, and they told me that they're trying to cancel my license. So I'm not even.
They're getting canceled,
bro. Yeah, dude.
Wait, what kind of license? What are we talking about here?
Dude, I've been a target of the deep state because I was a man in 2017. At SIUE, which is a pharmacy school. I tried to, I was exposing crimes of the pharmacy industry, and they poisoned me for forbidding me a career as a genetic scientist, which I had my foot in the door for to make $212,000 a year. All I had to do was graduate. I was on my final semester. And so they forbid me a career. I was bedridden ill for 5 days after they poisoned me, dude. I finally woke
up. Are we getting, holy cow, is this turning into a conspiracy?
You stepped down rather than answer me why I wasn't a student anymore. They dropped me from my classes, and I'm like, why am I not registered? And the dean of students, Kara Schuster, and she straight up yelled at me and told I would have been arrested out of her office. She's like, oh, you're Colton Brummel? Oh, get out of my office. I don't care about any of your ambitions. Get out of here. I'm like, what, dude? I'm just trying to find why I'm not a student anymore. And she's like, oh. She stepped down from her position rather than answer me. Dude, I've been a target of the deep state, man.
What the heck is going on? Jake, what's happening to this show?
What are we talking about here? I want to talk about SATs.
Bro got fucking Bob Lazard over here, man. I'm
sorry. Bitcoin. I've been in Bitcoin since 2012, man.
We're talking about
intelligence.
We're talking about being down bad, dude. That was a crazy story. We need to get we need to get a Netflix producer out here immediately so you can share your story.
Yeah.
Bro, if you've been in Bitcoin since 2012, you're down that bad.
You're more than welcome to come over.
All right, let's inscribe everything, all of your documents, so we can get this whole document thing going. I do want to pass it over to Dogfather though. It's good.
Yeah, thank you. So today, when I think I was talking to the same person Leo was talking to when he was inspired to tweet about this. And then in this kind of situation, I was thinking about yeah, we talk a lot about rare sets and inscribing on rare sets. And it was like, okay, let's do this one layer more extreme, one step harder. Let's inscribe on a rare set, and then plus distribute this inscription, you know, to 2009 January Bitcoin address, just to make it even harder and more scarce. I don't know whether we can work that out on marketplaces, but there may be a way, you know, to do at least OTC trades with this kind of like double scarcity combination of uncommon or rare sats, plus having those inscriptions, you know, being controlled by a super old vintage or somehow cool wallet, just to have another layer. Not sure whether that's a bit too over-engineered and too nerdy, but I at least like this idea that we can do another thing with Ordinals.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's I'm not in contact with that individual, but I guess I'd propose this question to anyone is, why do you think he's coming back now, this old wallet, into the space? Did they mention anything about their interest in ordinals, or why? Like, I get the reason to inscribe the message onto an ordinal to prove that you own that wallet. Did this person say anything about kind of that lean toward the innovation that's happening, or just general interest of Bitcoin moving past just being pristine collateral? Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, I think what I heard from my conversations was that there was an already earlier conversation on Bitcoin Talk on how to bring NFTs on Bitcoin. And then, you know, they were thinking about various ways of how can we do that before, you know, Ordinals inscriptions were a thing. And some of the ideas were like that these old wallet addresses may be something like an NFT that you can, you know, trade, because if you can sign such a message like this odd.io message, if you can sign and prove that you control such a message, this is kind of like an NFT. And that was where it was, you know, starting with. And this is why they became active.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is it bearish or bullish if these wallets wake up, right? They're sitting on literally tens of billions of rare sats. They could potentially just dump it on the entire market, right? Isn't that a bad thing?
I think it's probably.
I mean,
you go ahead, Doug.
I mean, at the end, you know, the exchanges sit on most of these rare and uncommon sets, right? So if they dump it on the market, then, you know, and Adam was also talking today about that, then prices may go down for these special sets. And that was also my idea, by combining these cool sets with an old or somehow special Bitcoin wallet, maybe another layer to make them more special. Once Binance is selling, you know, these thousands of rare sets, if they're not putting a 10K collection on them, like Leo was suggesting, then, you know, we see a huge supply of these sets. So this may be a combination that make them more special.
I think we've touched on this idea of like, if a collector's held this before me, is it more special? We've touched on that a lot. I think you guys got to be careful though. If you're thinking about buying something or aping into something because a previous wallet had it or created it, just be careful, because there are some of these old ones. I think a while back, an old HAL wallet put out, you know, signed a message, and it was this whole thing. Oh my God, is that Satoshi kind of thing? And just be careful, because these wallets sometimes can be compromised, and you know, it's possible that like in that case with HAL, you know, the family had like basically just turned over the wallets to new owners and stuff like that, who later signed a message. So just heads up going forward, that just because a wallet signed something doesn't mean necessarily the original owner is still in charge or still holds that wallet.
Vinny is alive, bro.
It's right, bro. He's tweeting from that, like, you know, that isolation chamber where he's kept over there.
Go ahead, Dogfather.
Yeah, I also just learned today that there's a market for these old wallets, right? And there was in this Bitcoin Talk forum, even something like a market for these old wallets, that if you sign a message, then they become an NFT, and then you can vault that and stuff like that. So this is a pretty deep story, another rabbit hole. So amazing for the weekend. So if you want to dive into that, highly recommended. This is, we are Leo, Adam, Jake, we are all coming, from the historic NFT community. Now we're in the Ordinals space, and again, now we have this rich history from 2009. I mean, what better combination could we have, right? Staying true to NFTs, but no Ordinals. That's so cool.
It's cool. I sorry, Jake, to cut you off, but there was a big YouTuber put out a thing and like, I think retweeted the infographic, which had like the rare sats, the listing of the different sats. And he was like, who the heck's into this stuff? I was like, bro, a lot of people are into this stuff, man. Like he couldn't understand why people would be interested.
Worldwide economy.
Yeah, but he just doesn't get it, It's just what it is.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I was thinking about this yesterday of our trends, our kind of like movement from historical NFTs to kind of the ordinal space more full time, and there's so many parallels in that we had also been just dabbling in Bitcoin NFTs for a while, so I think it just has given us such a massive head start. And now seeing rare sats kind of become popular after we had talked with Casey last August about it. And I actually re-listened to that episode a few days ago. So it's like I'm creating a research paper that I'm going to put out about Bitcoin. So I'm going to start spinning those up again and just kind of going through the history of it. One thing that we had never looked at actually, which I don't know why we never did, was look into Mastercoin and Omni, because those are probably the first that's where the first NFTs exist. I know Shannon has like a bunch of old stuff, as he was, the kind of one security guys over there. But I don't know why that didn't become a thing. But I don't know. Do you remember?
I was never able to find any assets over there, any NFTs. I actually joined their like GitHub and all this sort of stuff. I could never really find anything. But yeah, I could be. I might have missed it, but I never really found anything over there.
It's the fun of collecting timestamps, right? That's literally all historical NFTs are. I guess that's the foundation, right? That's kind of what rare sats are. You're collecting a timestamp to use as the canvas. And that was the same with historical NFTs. The timestamp is the canvas, essentially, or you could say the bottom foundation of the pyramid of value, in essence. I hope this all spills over to Namecoin, man. Right? I think if we just keep going as far back, and people are getting rare sats, right? They're like, ooh, what's even older than that, right? There are things that are pretty old. I mean, not like Block 9, but NFTs from 2011, right? That's something that could be appealing. I know there's probably some people in the crowd that are probably just annoyed that I even mentioned that, but go ahead, Randy.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk about attributes because I've been kind of out of the loop, and it's really interesting to me. So like I want to know if there's going to be like some kind of documentation / protocol for that. And then I also want to mention, like, really what brought my attention to it was that we're going to launch the Mullet Punks today, and we found out, just recently that one of the Mullet Punks was inscribed on a pizza sat, and all of a sudden the value of that inscription is like way higher than we could have anticipated without having this attributes technology. So yeah, Leo, if you want to touch on that. And it's just really cool to see, like, this new technology comes out and then all of a sudden more value is created that didn't exist before, just because we can see it right in front of us.
Yeah, this is where user experiences can be really helpful to collectors, because it's not that we made up this stuff and all of a sudden people care about it. It's that people always cared about it, but they didn't have a way to know that they cared about it, right? So yeah, I mean, to me, it's like the stat could have a supply in the trillions. I think it's very cool to know that like there's this rarity within a collection that, there's only one out of the, I think, 420 Bungie, correct me if I'm wrong, that's on a pizza stat, right? That's just interesting. Like that is, I would want to know like the origin of this attributes, right? Like I had a call with Nolish early on, and the origin is that, people probably, it would be cool to create a feature so that people know where their stats have been. Like that's what it is. The market can value these things how they want. That's not for us to decide, but I think it's a cool feature to show people where their stat has been. And like, I basically made up this word attributes, because I think it correctly communicates how I was personally thinking about it. We've since seen the term rare sats kind of take over, and this attributes is still, people say it, but I think a little bit of the fun I've seen is because it's like the word rare is in it. People are saying, oh, there's trillions of these, so it's not rare. And for better or for worse, we're calling these things rare sats now, and that's how it is. But I personally kind of like the term attributes in the user interfaces because it just correctly shows like, here is a neat attribute. Even let's say half the sats are a certain attribute. If people want to know that their sat was part of that thing, because that's cool to know, even if it adds zero value, I think people should know that, right? It's just a cool factor for a lot of these. And then a lot of these, they are very scarce. And I think that does add value to the market. So yeah, like the terms attributes, all of these 10 attributes that we have, it's meant to be open. And I am currently messaging like with your dev, Randy, and gave them the ranges for all the pizza sats. And basically, I just need to basically create a GitHub so that I'm not having to DM all this stuff to people, and just put this out there so that, it'll be adopted. And yeah, the idea is that it's an open standard, right? And the terms attributes is for everyone to use. Like, we want that to happen. So yeah, I'm hoping that happens over like the next month. I'm kind of bullish that it will.
Yeah, I like that all of the kind of infrastructure builders in the Ordinal space are all working together, and they're not really displaying tribalism. I think it's becoming very beneficial. And go ahead, Randy. It looked like you're going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say, Leo, I might just take that information from this attributes modal and run that through some information to ChatGPT and have it spit out some documentation, and we can like work on that together if you want. But like ChatGPT could probably spin something up real quick.
Yeah, like Randy, look, this is all completely permissionless. I think it would be really cool to see other people build with this. Again, it's an open standard. So if you're like a ChatGPT expert and can create some dope stuff, like you should definitely do that. Yeah, I will say like there's basically like probably 8 of the 10 are like fairly straightforward. And there's a few where it's just nuanced, where I had to do a lot of basically digging and research to make sure I had it right. But yeah, I think ChatGPT could definitely help there.
Hell yeah, love to hear it. I've been thinking a lot about rarity systems with sats. I think I come up with a good idea. I'll share another day. Also, before I call on Bunzi, Emblem just hit 20,000 followers. So thank you everyone who's following it. Pinned it to the top. Also, Ordinals wallet just hit 100,000 followers recently. So we are cooking.
You don't have to do that, Jake.
But we got botted, so that was pretty bad.
I love you, Jake, man. Thank you for that. You don't have to do it. You can do your Emblem Vault.
Hey, dude, we're all growing together. Bunzi just hit 15K. Like we're Leo's closing in on 100K too.
Leo's got like 1 million, bro. It's like rocket ship,
purple mullet.
He's programmed to 1 million.
Programmed it. Well, if you guys aren't following Emblem, go to the top. Make sure you give it a follow, man. There's a lot of fun stuff coming there for the future. And now back to our program with Bunzi.
Yeah, I think the rare attributes, not only is it super cool, but like a good analogy that I kind of like to think about it is like Banksy's piece on like the Berlin Wall. Like his piece was the art, but like the Berlin Wall was like the Satoshi, and like that piece got extracted and like goes for, for collector mindset. That's like a very interesting piece. Like I would love to have that rather than say a print of that same piece. So I think the way you think of it is, like even just like marble, where it's extracted from, like that sculpture, if like that means something to the collector, that's like this marble came from, I don't know even where that shit comes from, probably a cave, but like an important cave. And I think that's just a cool.
Italy.
Yeah.
That's like my I had an aunt that had countertop shipped from Italy.
See, that's how humans work. Like these weird things, like even the Mew card that we talked about from, I guess that's not the best example, but I do think the rare.
No, that is a great example though. I mean, like that marble one. I mean, that kind of, because that just reminded me of like years ago when my aunt had her countertops redone, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we shipped these from Italy. They came from this cave." It's like people like that kind of stuff. It's just cool information. It sells.
Well, and the best art has story, like, and like tells like something beyond just the aesthetic of it, and like that's a talking point for multiple things. So it's, I don't know, Leo, when you put that in, like you said, the UX thing, you guys nailed it. Like your guys' site, you could filter through all of that stuff. Like I was able to find all the OBMs like on block 9 just by like a filter. Like I was on a call with ZK and he's like, all right, here's the alpha. Go on fucking Leo's site and click block 9. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, but that's really like what it needs, because without that, who's going to go to like the block explorer and like really search? But if there's a trusted like visual representation of like what block it's on, now it's like, you know, and you can't fake the funk. You can't, if someone wants to like disprove it, they can, but if it's true, it's true. So I don't know. I think that part.
The funk.
You cannot fake the Satoshi, my man.
You can't fake the mullet either.
Oh, dude, that's debatable. The mullet account just got botted. I was like, oh, I'll reveal the time at 5K, and then it got botted. So wreck.
What's it at now? Oh, it is 5,000. Yeah.
I know, but they're not even real mullets, so it doesn't matter.
Imposter mullets. 1 in 2 out. I've been waiting patiently.
Hey. Yep. Thank you. So I was wondering, I guess it is NB that was releasing. I'm not sure who was talking, but who's releasing the mullets? I came in kind of late, so I'm not sure if you addressed it, but what are your ways are you trying to avoid bot attacks during this mint?
There you go. That'd be either for Buns or for Randy with Ordinals wallet.
Bot attacks. You know, we're just gonna put mullets on box and troll them, and hopefully they get, you know, insecure and then leave. But Ordinals wallet, how? Yeah, dude.
The smart guy in the room. How you gonna stop bots?
I had dreams about your speech last night. I heard the wonderful things you said on Spaces yesterday, and I went to sleep afterwards, and I thought like my dreams were that of like arranging Satoshis in like graphical ways. It was fantastic. I can't explain it, but it was really touching, and I want to do as much as I can to help be a part, because like I've been an OG crypto dude, but like I've had hard times in life, so I don't really have much Bitcoin at the moment. But like, I know what I'm talking about in the space.
Hey, don't we all, bro? Don't we all have a hard time? I've been full rugged multiple times, so I definitely feel you on that pain. Randy, though, is there a way to even set up bot attacks? Have you even considered it, or are we just gonna have 420 bot mullets at the end of this?
What is the question here? I'm confused.
He asked, how do you prevent? So what mechanisms are you setting in place to prevent bots from just minting out the 420?
So if bots want to come in and spend real Bitcoin, and then they have their robot wallet, I don't see any problem with that. As long as they're buying the token. But
yeah, bots are controlled by people, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean.
Yeah, and then they can just come and then release it on the market at a higher price, and then nobody that would have got in at that price. And
are we talking about like ChatGPT just like taking over the Bitcoin space, or what's going on here?
No, I mean, usually bots are when it's a free mint is usually when they come in and ape. But if let's say a bot or a person comes in and apes 300 of the 420 mullet Punzi could easily just drop a new collection if that's the case, right? Or an airdrop, or you could find ways around it. I don't think you see as many bots when it is like a paid mint.
Well, we have that checker on our site to check for if you're a bot every time you go to our website, which is super annoying but necessary right now. So that's one way we are.
I guess from a collect, if I wanted to get in that, what's from a collector standpoint, is there a best way I should approach the mint to give myself the best chance of getting the mint? I guess would be the better question. What's the best way?
Ultimately, the best way would have been if we just didn't tell anybody that the mint was today, and we posted a link, when it was live, because we tend to have on mint day upwards of 5,000 people on the website.
Yeah, I think a surprise drop would have been good also. And also, I think what you
Not
should
too late.
do.
It's not too late. Fuck these.
Yeah,
bots.
maybe you can
Bungie
push it
wanted to
back.
go crazy on the promo, so I let him CEO the
Bro,
situation.
I just
And,
they're memes. I like memes. More
yeah,
memes.
we'll see what happens.
Oh,
I think just make sure you have your wallet loaded up with enough UTXOs if you want multiple, and UTXOs upwards of $120.
okay.
About.
Also, I was talking to someone else in another voice chat, and he was saying, because he actually ran bots for a long time, he was saying that you can also not put the price on there. So, like you're saying, when it's not a free mint, if they don't know, the bot doesn't have the parameters, so they're not preset ready to buy. And I get it. The public won't know the price either, but at the same time, we still will have a better chance of getting in because the bot wouldn't already have those parameters set.
Yeah,
so
we
it's
almost never release the price early. It's kind of it's a weird balance between making sure that the people who really want the thing have enough cash in their wallet and just kind of like busting your load early with giving out too much information. Yeah. We like to do things like if it's 100%, it's not like a partnership launch. If it's 100% Ordinals wallet launch, we'll just do it live. Like as soon as it's ready, we'll just launch it and post the link, and we won't tell anybody any information. You just kind of have to figure it out for yourself. That's the way we like to run it, because especially with the demand this high, the way that it's been lately. But Mullet Punks it's going to be hype. I'm going to say it'll probably be pretty tough to get one. Let's just put it that way.
So dude, I have an idea. What if we make the price 0.00421? So any bot that scrapes the price that's posted is wrecked, and then maybe we just do it live.
Nah, dude, 420, cuz.
All right.
Buns,
Well-
I just hit 16.9 thousand followers. So
Oh,
the
dude.
love today, just hit it right now.
Dude, today's so freaking. Dude, I had no idea CryptoPunks even launched today too. Like, that's dope. Dude, there's something in the air, dude. The 6ix9ers, I mean, they came, they conquered, and then we put mullets on it, and then the bots fucked everything up, but it's gonna be a day for history.
What's going on with the CryptoPunks?
They launched. Oh yeah, go ahead, Jake.
It's their 6-year anniversary for V1 today. For V1 Punks.
Punks going to 0?
Punks are getting teleburned.
Oh my! Has anyone done that yet?
No, I think the most expensive one, Jason Williams, teleburned an ape. Like in the very beginning. I guess he was like with Casey or something at New York and decided to go crazy.
Sheesh.
I burned 200 Bozo NFTs on the Solana network. I bought like a super dominant position. And then that's like actually the profile picture I'm representing her. See, I'm the king with the laser beam.
Let's go. Go ahead, Dogfather.
Made him more scared.
Go ahead, Dog.
Yeah, I think one or two people recently burned their CryptoPunk while rapping and doing some DeFi stuff, or attempting at least.
Yeah.
They own some big punk on Ordinals, just as a small recap. But that was not on purpose, right?
Yeah, the accidental burn is the Max Payne burn. Yeah.
Yeah, trying to wrap it because they're trying to go take it to Blur, I believe was the use case. I do have a few other people who are trying to request up. If anyone wants to drop down, if not, I might have to just bump one or two people down.
Rest in peace, my Pokemon cards. I can drop down here. I'll do that. Or how about just do it for me because I don't actually know how.
Bunsy, stay. I'm going.
Stay, Buns.
No, I have to go fucking
I'm not
fight these
contributing
bots,
anything.
dude.
I'm going to the audience. I'm going to the
I
audience.
do have to jump, but no.
You guys sound like a married couple.
I know we are. Dude, he doesn't have a mullet though, and it's been tough lately. But we'll work through it. We're going to therapy, and but no, I do have to go try to get ready to fight these bots. I'm gonna go put on some better pants and get this shit ready. But I do appreciate you guys, and Leonidas, thank you so much for growing that purple mullet. It really means a lot to me. 9 inches strong, and yeah, no, and then I mean, last time the cursed inscriptions. I can't wait. Maybe right after mint, or even before. I just want to show people this art.
Yeah,
It looks fucking sick.
tease it right afterwards, and then
But I
everyone
don't know. Randy just yelled at me for making memes, dude. So I don't know what I'm allowed to do anymore, dude.
Bro, all right, we're already full steam ahead. Let's just keep it going and see what happens.
Yeah, don't sidetrack them till afterwards. Cursed Mullet's coming next week. Just be prepared for that. But everyone else, ape into Ordinals wallet infrastructure for the Ordinal Mullets, so that the bots don't get them.
Yeah, and the best way to get one is to DM me when. Like, that's the best way, I think. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so I think that if you miss out on or whatever, you're gonna get one. Everyone that's listening, I think everyone's gonna get one that has the best clickers. And the alpha, I would say too, is if you set up Ordinals wallet, I don't know, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't that work better on your guys' platform? But and then Cursed Mullets, that's gonna be the real jam. That's gonna be, I think, the collection there. We're going to do some cool stuff because we can do a lot more with cross-chain capability on Emblem Vault. So get ready for some weird shit into your wallet with those.
And what's the estimated time of your launch? Just so I can. Well,
You're
I even do it, Jacob. I mean, I'm just going to rug myself. I know.
Adam is ready to ape immediately.
Dude, I just know, dude. This never works out for me, bro. This never.
Dude, Adam, you're going to tell
DM it to him, Bunzi. DM him the time. If they DM you when mint, give them the time. Let's get the people who really want the stuff to make sure that they've got it. And I do want to say, next time we do a mullet launch, we're going to whitelist for people with actual proof of mullet.
Proof of mullet.
There you go. Proof of mullet. Yeah.
Dude, Leonidas, easy, dude. He's fucking first in line.
Oh, he's the biggest mullet in the space right now.
He's going to pull down the hood, and it's actually going to be such a fucking lush purple mullet that just turns heads from every corner. This guy can't go to the grocery store without getting 5 girlfriends. What's the problem out here?
Oh man. All right, go get ready, man. Go get ready.
All
You
right.
got a heavy mint.
Adam, I'm gonna DM you a mullet sword guy because that guy's sick. And then I'm also gonna not tell you the time so you don't bot my mint.
All right,
But
man.
no, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna tell you when everyone knows. But I'm gonna go smoke.
See ya.
No, think about it. Okay, never mind. That was like a hint.
Get out here. You can figure out the time if you put some thought into some memetics.
Right.
But Luke, that's on stage, been invited, a leader of the Litecoin Ordinals, taking charge, man. What is good?
Hey, Jake and Adam and Ordinals Wallet, Leonidas and everybody. Thanks for that. I had something for Bunzi there on the terms of botting, but I didn't catch him obviously before he left, which is okay. I'll connect with him later. I just wanted to say thank you guys for all that you're doing with all your shows and everything. I was recently listening to one of the podcasts, a recap of it just yesterday, and I happened to be at my father-in-law's, and he's kind of new getting into this space, and he's interested because I've been in it for a while, and he's like, dang, those are the first guys that I've heard that actually know stuff. So just kind of wanted to give you guys a little props for that, as he's very technical and serious, and he doesn't say that about anything. So that was it was a good stepping stone to introduce someone like, yeah, well, here, listen to this. And he's sending me stuff now from you guys. He's like, did you hear about this? Did you know this? So,
Hell yeah. Papa Luke, man. If you're listening to this, shout out to you. Actually, shout out to my pops. My pops listens to this every Friday too. So shout out to you. I'll come visit you sometime soon. Just laying it down in layman's term is really the best. I was on a Spaces last night, and they were getting like super technical about ordinals and like defining block space and what it means. And I got up there, and they finally called on me, and I was like, all right, guys, you guys are gigabrains, but I'm gonna have to just bring this down a second, because explaining what block space is in a technical sense is just not working. And so I kind of took like a philosophical approach to it, and I got like 4 DMs afterwards, and they were like, that was awesome, thank you. It's like, it just gets so hard when people start explaining the technicals behind like mining and stuff. Most people actually just don't care. They're just like,
so wait, Luke, give us the botting technique you were going to express to Bunzi, man.
Yeah, so currently, even if you don't list a price, you can have a specific field that kind of looks for anything that results in some form of like currency, and just acts as like another scraper. It's a little slower, but it still works on the botting end. So what happened is we did a Discord launch like just a couple like weeks ago, and it got botted heavy, but we stopped it within a couple seconds without any transactions going through, just to kind of see what happened. And we took it old school. This is going to seem really weird, but we linked it up with Google Forms and used Google Scripts with basically CAPTCHA, and it worked almost. I would say very like actually very well. Surprisingly, I think maybe like there's probably a couple bots that figured it out, but it was towards the end of everything. So it's really weird, but I can explain it further on in detail. I just wanted to talk to Bunzi to kind of, if he had that in mind, to go through with that.
So was that using your Discord bot that you had built, which I took part in, not using that Discord bot?
No, so we tried that for the next one, those that other ones, and it was a freak show. Just there was so much interaction and clicks on everything that the API couldn't handle all the calls. So we had to figure out because it was completely botted right away. So we had to figure out something else that didn't rely, because we didn't necessarily want to use our website, because our website is actually hosted on chain IPFS, so like Filecoin type stuff.
Yep.
So what we were working on was trying to figure out how we can use CAPTCHA, how we can use scripts to make sure everything is validated correctly, and make it kind of just old school that people don't expect. And we came across this method to use literally Google Forms that runs backend scripts on, because you can use scripts within Google Forms and provide CAPTCHA, provide a list, and verify transactions, and it worked very well. So
very cool.
Well, Luke is a great follow. I recommend everyone to give him a follow. Very technical. Anytime you need some explanations, especially with Litecoin, Ordinals, LTC, all that stuff. Very good.
I might have to point some people your way, man, because that's valuable info, because people are working around these now. Like, how do they figure this stuff out?
Dude, yeah, Luminex shot the bed super hard, but it looks like they're figuring out. Luke, although I do have you here, I do want to get an update on Litecoin Ordinals you've been building. Luke was one of the people, one of the few people on the team of Litecoin Punks that was early, sub 1,000 collection. I believe you'd spun up Light Labs and you're working on a handful of things. Answer this to me. I have it pulled up here on YouTube. The LTC20s, there is the top 3 tokens on here have 92,000 holders, 84,000 holders, and 39,000 holders. What is going on over there, man? How is there so many people just?
Does each person have 10,000 wallets?
I'm like, what, dude? What is going on over there?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. There's 2 things to that. So there's the people that do have tons of wallets, and there's the Asia community has been absolutely crazy in terms of having literal data centers and computer centers where they're actually all working on like 10 to 20 EVMs all at a time and trying to mint these things out. So an example of like on the first end is if you're using directly Ordinal software, what it's programmed to do is create a new address without a destination. So if you use old Ordinal software, like before 0.5.2, so anything older than that, it doesn't necessarily require a destination address. So it creates a new address every single time it mints. But if you use the Ordinal software after that, you can require a destination address, so then it can all be loaded onto one address. So the people who are technical probably used the older version of Ordinals simply to do mints, because it will put it in individual addresses for essentially more privacy. But then on the side of the community and the Asia and the Chinese side is we caught this with the first bot when we released the other collection, is there's a few transaction IDs that came from centralized exchanges. And we said, please don't use centralized exchanges, because what's going to happen is they're going to all get blocked together. So if multiple people send from exchange, it's all going to come in the same block. They're all going to have the same transaction ID. It can't be validated. Well, we had some people that were trying to bot that way. And we asked for kind of like, hey, are you able to do like some video proof and screenshots? And we noticed that in the screenshots, it was a reflection of a computer center with a bunch of different EVMs pulled up on all these computers just from the reflection of the screen. I'll go through and I'll send you a picture. It's hilarious. But we got like 3 or 4 people in the Discord and tickets sending pictures in the same area, the same background noise in the videos. And you can see literally in the reflection of the computer, the other computers behind them, all with their Electrum LTC wallets pulled up and stuff like that. So there's a huge push in China right now, at least for ordinals in general, but the cost is something they look into. So right now, Arbitrum, for essentially Ethereum user base, is very heavily like organized and very productive, at least in the Chinese community, the Asian community. So they love those cheaper things. And the fact that you can mint these LTC20s for very cheap prices as a comparison to Bitcoin is something that they really like and is really cost effective for them. So they just go all in. So those are the 2 explanations for that.
Yeah, it's been quite chaotic. I actually, if they're listening, I'm probably going to bot this. So when you had first, I think you were the one that created Lightscribe, or you'd first told me about it. I deployed the Jake token and minted some, and one of the Asian communities reached out to me and they're like, hey, do you want me to post this? We can mint it out right now. And it's like literally less than 1% minted. And I was like, oh my God, you guys are freaking degens. I was like, I'm not ready. I'm just experimenting, man. I'm not ready for that type of responsibility. Crazy. But there's a lot of, I've noticed more attention around LTC20s. There's like a BRC20 company called Ohms that's launching BRC, LTC, and DRC20 marketplace all in one. Is quite interesting. I started using Stack Wallet to store the Litecoin ordinals. It's worked well so far. And I know there's some people who are working on a wallet web extension for Litecoin ordinals as well. I think that'll be probably the biggest breakthrough for that community as well. And for those that don't know, we at Emblem, we worked with Luke. That's how we got connected, to vault the Litecoin punks, all 100 of them, to sell on OpenSea, because at the time there was literally no infrastructure in place. And so from there, seen a lot of stuff pop up, which is cool. I think it seems inevitable. It's also cool to just really experiment in, because it is a lot cheaper. 1 and 2 out. Go ahead.
Yeah. So since you guys were talking about the Asian market, I don't know what your guys' thoughts on I'm in the Telegram, and one of the guys, I don't know if he's a pretty big podcaster. I don't know if he's a billionaire or what, but he tweeted it out, and then it went kind of crazy. And so I go over to the chat and I start translating, and they just I was just wondering if y'all heard any other feedback, but they just are extremely optimistic about it. They're like, it's like the new Bitcoin and everything. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the WE token, BRC20.
I've seen it. I don't know. I didn't know what it was. There was a point a few weeks ago where I literally just went old school, kind of 2017 ICO style, and I was just like typing tickers in, or going down the top 100, typing tickers into Twitter to see what it led me to. And I thought it was just like a meme coin. But I keep seeing it. I keep seeing it in the top 5 charts. It's also one of the top 5 minted on Litecoin, LTC.
Yo, sorry, but Riff Raff just DM'd me saying, let's work. Yeah.
You gonna do some Riff Raff ordinals? Riff Raff mullets?
We're going to figure out how to get this International Mullet Day to be really International Mullet Day. Maybe it could be like a whole holiday for the whole world.
I looked it up. International Mold Day, at least from what other people want to recognize it as, is like July 2nd or something like that. But I think 6/9 is more appropriate. All right, I'm gonna let a few more people back on stage. Yeah, LTC, man. Experimenting DRC20. I don't know if anyone's dabbled in that as well. That is also quite a chaotic controversy. Just to kind of summarize it really quickly.
Yo, Riff Raff, dude. Oh my God, I've made a ton of gifts with him. I hope he doesn't sue me. Like, it's all been for the greater good and for Trollcoin.
Jesus. Go ahead.
That guy, I love that guy, dude. He's making great music now.
He gave me the hush emoji after
too late.
He DM'd me, so I guess I can't screenshot it and like type it up. I don't know. I want to.
Hey,
402. I hope you are Riff Raff's alt account, but if not, go ahead.
I have some Riff Raff related news, but I need to be guaranteed a whitelist spot for this.
Oh no, what's going on?
We don't do whitelists very often.
I don't care. I tell Riff Raff 402 Graphics is getting a fucking whitelist. I have his Sats name, so I will gladly gift him his Sats name for a whitelist spot.
Yeah, this is an interesting thing. If you guys have missed it, if you go to ordinals.com and punch in your name, somebody's done the thing where turning numbers into letters, right? So A is 1 or whatever, and B is 2. And so Jake, I saw you tweeted about the other day, right? So it's like, are we gonna start? Is Nullish gonna have to hunt down individual names? Like this is like maybe the next thing to do is hunt down, Adam McBride and then sell me my own sat, with my own sat name on it. I don't know, man. It's like
I honestly, wow, somebody unfollowed me. Now I'm at 16.8. What asshole? Shouldn't have tweeted it out. Should have known. But yeah,
and then the trouble becomes when someone uses your name before you.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I recorded a pod with Billy Rusty the other day, and he was telling me about it. So then when I went on, and I didn't even know what he meant when he meant like name, so I pinned it to the top. I typed in Jake Gallen, it came up, and then it said expected to be minted or mined in 2029, and I just I didn't really I still don't completely understand what that even means, or like why Sats even have names. I don't know. Leo, do you know why? I really
don't
know.
You guys weren't paying attention when he was on that call with us in September. Casey had alpha for this was one of the first ideas, right? He literally just basically was like, okay, he wants to create this cool. You got to understand there were no inscriptions for the first year of Casey coming up with this protocol. So he wanted to create interesting collectible things around specifically the Sats. So we spent a lot of time trying to create a protocol where he baked in some different rarities and cool things that he thought would be collectible. Okay, so obviously one of those was the Rotomore rarity index with the uncommon, the rare, the epic, the legendary Sats, right? But also he was like, how can we use different notations to display the Sats? So, you can uniquely identify a Sat by a number, right? And it starts at 0 and goes up. We're at 1.9 quadrillion now, and it just keeps going up with every block that's mined. But also, they have unique percentages. So there's a percentile based on how early it is out of the 2.1 quadrillion Sats that will eventually be mined. And then there are Sat names. So the Sat names are Casey basically created it such that the final Sat that gets mined will be the letter A. And then it goes back in time, increasing. So the next one would be B, C, D. And then when you hit Z, you add a second letter. So it would be A, B. And then you go down. There's basically a lot of permutations of letters. And when you get all the way back to the first Sat that Satoshi mined, the mythic Sat, right? That is a 11 character of a bunch of random characters, okay? So mixed in between when Satoshi mined that Sat and the final Sat that will be mined is every 1 through 10 character alphanumeric letter combination, and then a solid handful of 11 character letter combinations. And what you end up with is you're seeing Sat miners Sat hunters searching for this in their algorithms now. So Rare Sat Society will search for cool words. So, for example, you could search for, Jake or Adam in a word, in the character. So it's not super hard to find like AZZ Adam or ZZZ Adam ZZZ. You can find cool ways to do your name like that. And if you want actually Adam McBride, one of a kind, there's only one Adam McBride out there. I'm trying to think how many letters that is. ADAM4. Yeah, yours is out there. Adam. Yours is out there.
No, I've seen it. I saw it. Yeah. Somebody's trying to sell me for $1 million. No.
This is cool. So these things are out there, and you can basically hunt them down. And they're sitting in a wallet somewhere. You can look up your stat name and go find that. And it's just one more way to collect stats. So yeah, there's kind of some interesting stuff we're looking at about doing with that too.
So are you telling me that from Genesis block until like a certain period, there's in every block there's these sequences?
Mm-hmm. Basically, yeah. Think of it as like there's 21 million Bitcoin. Each Bitcoin
is that how it's always been? That's just how the blocks work.
So
like that's how the blocks normally read. And
this is a created.
It's ordinal, part of ordinal theory.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
I got confused for a second, but this is pretty cool. Fantastical idea.
I guarantee you already know what's going to happen is you're going to have somebody's going to ping Adam and they're like, oh my God, Adam, I collected Adam McBride for you. And they're like, DM me. It's like, give it to you. DM them. They're like 3 Bitcoin.
Yeah, don't do that.
Right. It's just like the ETH people where they're like, bro, I got Adam.eth for you. Do you want it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, 40 ETH. Screw you, man. On YouTube, Sidem Sai says, anybody collecting on Doge Party? Yeah, man. Been there since it restarted 2 years ago. I think that was 2.5. My Doge Party bags are very heavy. So I hope there's some revitalization there. Doge stamps is also a thing too. I haven't checked on that.
As long as you hold on. Just hold on.
Farmer Joe, how's it going, man? GM.
Yeah, no, I wanted to join in because you guys were talking about these DRC-20s. So I kind of played around with it just for the lulz. I missed kind of the first 2 iterations of DRC-20 indexers. And now there's one from Elon, which kind of looks and feels like Unisat. I'll be honest. I suspect maybe they're related, but they're creating one. They've already created like the wallet for it, like an extension, and they're about to launch the marketplace apparently next week, which is supposed to resemble Unisat. So I don't know. I'm kind of watching closely. I did end up minting like the first deploy on that. But obviously, like, there's 2 other iterations of indexers on DRC-20, so I don't even know if it's meaningful or not.
Dude, it's freaking chaos over there. So basically, what has happened, the one you're talking about, Unilon, is called Cardinals, and then the one, if you download DPAL wallet, is Doginals. And within Doginals, it was actually split between 2 different communities. One of the Doginals didn't index beginning with the Genesis block. So they had omitted like a ton of Doginals. And Cardinals is interesting because they're storing the data on ETHW for some reason. If you go look through the documents, it's very interesting how they do
proof of work.
Yeah.
Shut up. Are you serious?
Go through the GitHub and read about it at the end of how they're like storing the data.
What the hell, bro?
From what I've tried to gauge the community. It seems like the community wants Doginals and everyone hates Cardinals. But Cardinals seems to have better infrastructure, more than where the Doginal community is. So I don't know. There's way more Doginal.
Wait, they're storing proof of work.
Dude, go read the GitHub. I promise you. It's trying to figure out what the hell was going on over there. And yeah, ETHW or ETHF or I don't know, ETH something is where they're like storing all the data for. The issue that I was reading about Doginals is that the block height isn't consistent. And so there's like consistent reorgs. And so it's really hard to actually index on Doginals because of that reason. And so that's where you have these different complications with the indexers that are consistently going offline. So Cardinal's solution was to say, we'll index the data, but then we're going to store it on a different chain. And I believe it was ETHW or ETHF or something like that. ETH something is where they're storing the data for. I don't know how the fuck they're doing it, but yeah, go through it. It's wild.
It just occurred to me, bro. If a normie just dropped into this Twitter space and heard that last 60 seconds of text of what you just said, They literally would have no idea what the fuck. This is so like crazy.
Bro, that's hilarious. I was in a car yesterday with a bunch of people. Like we were packed in the car, and I was looking at my phone, and I was like, if the dude next to me is looking at my phone, we're speaking an entirely different language.
Literally different. We're literally aliens.
Dude, I've been here for 11 years and I'm still like figuring it all out. I'm like, what the hell's going on now?
Yeah, my
Notionals stored on ETH.
Cardinals. Yeah.
Fuck.
I still have, because I've had
What is this? This is new.
This Twitter account that I'm on is the only Twitter account I've had. So I've had it since 2009. So I still have like a bunch of my like Vegas friends that follow me. Anytime I go hang out with them, they're like, I still follow you, but I literally have no idea what you're talking about. They're like, it's literally like a foreign language, every tweet that you have.
Very cool, dude. This is the only Twitter that I'm allowed to use, because if I were to use my real name, it would just be banned automatically again. I've tried to do the review process, but like I mentioned earlier, I think I might be a targeted individual. It just doesn't make any other sense why. Even my lawyer says I've never seen anything like this before.
You have been Bob Lazard officially. You were.
Dude, yeah, man.
Bro, you got to get out of the country, man. Come join me in Costa Rica, brother.
I'm trying. You're right.
Get on the plane, leave.
Yeah, Adam's got the hookup, man. He's got pigs.
I've lost all my ability. Can you buy me a ticket, dude?
Here, my friend.
Trollcoin, like I gotta tell you, dude, like Trollcoin just became available for sale at 1 Satoshi, and I thought, like, I debated this for a week. I was like, dude, should I even sell and try to like gamble it on margin, maybe try to flip double and then buy it back, like. And I lost it. And I was like, dude, I'm just like, like I said, I've never been worse off financially than I am right now. I'm just trying to look on the bright side. Today was the day I was supposed to get my license back.
Isn't Trollcoin something that was created in like 2012 or 13? Isn't like one of the
20? Yeah, man.
Like
I mean, originally 2013.
Yeah,
it is 20 from 2014. It's been going strong. It's because Carl
going strong. I don't know if I'd use the term going strong.
I mean,
I don't know. It might be there, but it's probably running on somebody's like server in their closet, bro.
You're right, dude. I got it going here. It's like, I got this little desktop computer. The network we keep it going.
Yeah, I don't know about going strong.
We're going.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's a good correction. You're right to do that.
We're going strong at 1 sat, Adam. 1 sat, dude. Going strong. Finally got out of purgatory. I want to say something funny. I don't know if any people realize this. When I started trading consistently in 2017, you would trade a lot of these like low sat coins or some of these like dying coins from the previous era. So you trade things like Next and like BitShares, and these are created in like 2014, 15. And so they'd be denominated in Bitcoin and they would get down to like 1 sat. And you're like, well, I'm buying the bottom because it literally can't go to this. And you know what these exchanges would do is they would literally list it, or they would remove the BTC pair and then denominate it in
zeros.
Hold on, man. Hold on. And then they would denominate it in Litecoin. So then it could just keep going down another 99%, just in a weaker currency. It was super funny. So whenever you went to the Litecoin market, these were like the dying coins that were happening. Yeah, good times. Good times.
Dude, I almost forgot, man. I almost forgot about Cryptopia days. You're right. Like the variable price differences, the arbitrage between Bitcoin and Dogecoin and Litecoin on Cryptopia, like there were opportunities in those markets. I don't know. That's one of the things I thought, but it was really fascinating to see all the denominations.
In America, I don't know. We might have to just go back to denominations in Bitcoin for everything, right? With you saw Robinhood today delisted Solana, Cardano, and Polygon.
Well, really, they actually delisted them as well. Holy shit!
They delisted it from Robinhood today. Yeah.
No way. Wow.
Yeah. So those are the ones that were cited. So I saw Gbaz, who's like a OG kind of crypto guy, had tweeted. He said, he's been around since like 2013 or 14 or something. He said, it was like pretty much straight points. Like, well, the worst thing that happens here is that everything just gets denominated in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has the use case again. Totally not aware of the Ordinal ecosystem, but yeah, that's how you traded back then. It was all denominated in Bitcoin.
Pardon for interjecting, but yeah, dude, that's that couldn't be a worse thing than it is. I mean, like it could be the best thing that could be for Bitcoin. Excuse me with my conundrum there, but
Okay, I
because
gotta go.
everything is already paired in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is like the tide, and all ships rise to the moon. You know.
Go ahead, Randy.
or never mind.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta eat something and prepare for Mullet Punk's mint today.
Let's
Farmer Joe, you better
go.
be in there getting Mullet Punks. Everybody in here, get your Mullet Punks today. We're going live in about, I don't know, 2 hours. See you then. Bye.
Yeah, see ya. Good
Yo,
luck,
wait,
man.
wait. Does that mean you guys are launching at 420?
Yeah, maybe.
Cut.
What? Got him.
Thanks for having me up here, guys. Jake, Adam,
See ya.
Leonidas, Joe, everybody else. Rockets, good to see everybody. Dogfather, appreciate everybody coming up in here, hanging out with the boys.
Woo!
I don't think the space is over, but I'm leaving, and I just appreciate you guys so much. Peace out.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we're getting ready to wrap this up too here, pretty shortly. So I'm honestly out of topics outside of get your cursed mullets next week. Once we build that out, man, dude, the technical, just the working on the whole back end of it is very
Yeah,
interesting.
but once you build it once, man, then it's easily deployable again. So I'm
Yeah, but I'm holding everything inside to not literally blab out what's after that, because I literally can't stop talking about it to the team. I literally just keep throwing ideas in every day, and they're like, "Holy fuck, this is nuts." So whenever that does happen,
I love this. This is awesome.
Yeah,
I'm just here mostly on the spectate. I'm watching from the sidelines, figuring out what is going on.
Follow.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Make sure you follow everyone on stage. Follow Emblem. Sid, who's that? Siddharth Taylor. If I mess that, how's it going?
Hello. I was asking you, sir, why no one is talking about Rare Paper Nakamoto cards?
Sure.
They were real OGs on Emblem Wallet. They were fake one also hyped back then.
Nakamoto cards on Emblem. Yeah. What was the question? I didn't hear the question.
Why they are not hyped?
Why are they not hyped?
Ordinals?
Bro, they're hyped.
Yes, yes.
We hype them, man. You know, there's not many traders. There aren't that many buyers at, $100 grand. Yeah. They move once in a while. We've had some real movement in the for Nakamoto's for sure.
Yeah.
Sidharth, are you a 300 Club member?
No, my friend was buying Rare Paper and Nakamoto cards back then, 2017 and 18.
Yeah.
So I knew it.
Yeah, they move every once in a while. Rare Pepes, right? We have our curated collection that we're going. We did have the move tool that we've been building out. I'm so sorry, Rare Pepe community, if you guys are listening, that we keep building this out and then hit technical delays and then build other things. And man, it's been a fucking process, but it's coming, man. You can go vault it right now. If you go to emblem.finance, you could take your Rare Pepes and go vault it. Next thing is the move tool to move them from legacy. But I totally understand why people don't want to move that. Go ahead, Chris, who's on stage. Chris Brown.
Oh yeah, so I just got on like not too long ago, and I was hearing about the mullet punks. So like, how do we mint? Because I know you guys have been talking about it this time.
Yeah, go on ordinalswallet.com at 4:20 Eastern time. You'll see what's going on, or you could hop in their Discord. I think if you go to Mullet Punks, I'll pin this to the top so you guys could all go follow it. Also, as a disclaimer, I own Mullet Punks on ETH. I'll try to mint this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, but it seems like it's gonna be a pretty hyped mint itself. But if you go to Mullet Punks here, I'm pinning this to the top. Go into their Discord. I have it open on my other screen right here, and it's literally just been nonstop comments for like 2 hours in there and sales. So
just be careful when obviously Discord and stuff, because there are fake links and all that sort of stuff. So head on a swivel. Be careful, guys.
But yeah, it's been to the top. I just pinned it so you could go to the Mullet Punks Twitter account and go have a freaking party over there. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of people. It seems like it's one of the emerging ordinal communities or cross-chain communities, I guess, about memes and stuff. So,
guys, sorry, Jake. Just wanted to make sure everybody saw. I know a bunch of you guys used the Xverse app. I'm sure you saw it by now, but if not, I did pin to the top. You gotta update your Xverse app because they had basically a vulnerability on the app on the Chrome store. So if you're using Xverse on Chrome, you need to update that app immediately. So check that pin tweet out if you haven't done that yet.
Yeah, very smart. Yeah, I went through. You have to make sure you also click the developer tab when you open it up.
Yeah.
It took me a second. I was like, what am I doing wrong?
Where am I? Dude, I sat with, that's why I made the thread on like how to do it. Cause I sat there for 5 minutes. Like, you are an idiot. What are you not doing right here? And like, finally it's like, oh, developer tab. Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, big deal. But they fixed it pretty quick and they were really good about it. But you know, definitely update your app.
Yeah. All right. I think we are going to close it up here. 2.5 hours on a Friday, man. A lot of fun. I'm going to go hang out in the Mullet Punks Discord for a little while. It seems like there's a lot of just fun stuff happening in there. Cursed Mullets next week through Emblem Vault. And we're having a lot of fun here. Adam, any final words before we close this out?
Man, traveling next week, but we're still going to do shows and stuff. So it's going to be fun, man. But I'm on the road next week.
Where are you going, Adam?
North Carolina, baby.
Woo-hoo. Yo, are you kidding me?
I'm going to be in Raleigh, Durham, maybe.
Are you actually going to North Carolina next week?
Yeah.
I am going to be visiting with the Emblem team.
Yeah. Yeah. The Emblem
Shannon's here.
And Eric too. Both of them.
Yo,
the whole
shit,
the whole team is in Raleigh. Dude, everyone is down in Raleigh. Fucking a lot of the Pepe people are down in Raleigh too. I don't know what you guys are breeding.
101.
I don't know what you guys are breeding, but that is down there for sure. Michael Lee lives down there. Michael Lee Jr. is down in Raleigh. Like, everyone is down there, dude. Jason Williams, they're all down there. I don't know what's going on, but you guys
Leo, man, I'll hit you up at, what is it, Bottle Coffee or whatever you got over there, man. Go hang, bro.
Bottle Coffee. Leo, any final words outside of hanging out with Adam?
I mean, yeah, I just found out that like everybody lives near me, but yeah, so I don't know. I think you guys with this show are way like crushing it right now. Like, the collector mentality has been something that maybe just didn't have as much interest over like maybe the last year and a half. And I think people are finally starting to care about the collector mentality. And this show I would say like this show is definitively the #1 podcast or Twitter space where it's focused on the collector mentality. And it's kind of a shame that like there's not that much of that, to be honest. But I think people are starting to care. And I think that's like really dope that you guys decided to create a show focused on that. Because this is by far much more fun than I don't know, just some of the conversations. Like, this is the real stuff. So
hell yeah, man, I appreciate it. It's been a long almost 2.5 years that we've all been kind of doing this together, of kind of embracing the collector mentality, especially in the ecosystem the last 2 years where it was all flippers, man. We were getting drowned the fuck out. We'll finally be vindicated when Mooncats and Curio cards and everything takes off, whenever that day does come.
By the way, new Curio card full set holder just yesterday, I believe.
Really?
So, yep.
Do you know how much you purchased it for?
Not sure. I think he was a slow collector, but yeah. So I think it's up to 11 full set collectors in the Curio Discord. Pretty cool.
Dude, down from was that $1 million is what it sold at Christie's, or 1.2 million to one of the Ethereum co-founders, Taylor Gehring. Who's the guys who run History is History Fund? They acquire, I think they have 2 full sets of Curio cards. One of them they just bought recently for 81 ETH through Emblem Vault.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I need to get on my Curio game. That's fun. Yeah, Gary V was surprisingly is a huge Curio cards fan.
Huge, but he's not a full set guy. He says not a full set guy.
Yeah, he's a flipper. He's a junkyard mentality. All right, guys, enjoy your Friday. There's a lot going on. Go to the Mullet Punks. Make sure you guys follow Emblem, follow Leo, Adam, Farmer Joe, all of us. We're talking about Ordinals. Stay in tune for the Cursed Ordinals Curated Collection launch on Ethereum. You could go vault any cursed ordinal on Ethereum and buy and sell, go have some fun. It seems like there'll be some more native support that's coming out next week as well, from what I hear from a bunch of these marketplaces and some of these wallets. So once that's added, full send into that space. Articio, thanks for the nice space. Thank you. Hope you guys join next week, and be safe out there. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, guys.